Welcome, everyone, to the Commentary Podcast. I am your host, Pat Brennan. Today on the podcast, we are going to be kicking off our James Cameron director series with The Terminator. It was released in 1984, and it is written by James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd, and also directed by James Cameron. The film stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Biehn, Linda Hamilton, and Paul Winfield. A cyborg assassin from the future attempts to find and kill a young woman who is destined to give birth to a warrior that will lead a resistance to save humankind from extinction. Joining me as always for the director series are my two co-hosts Vikash and Martin. I will drop all of their info in the episode description, so please give them the follow and check them out. Now I'm going to be watching the 4K copy I have of The Terminator, but you can stream it for free on Max and Prime Video right now. You can also rent it on Amazon, Apple TV, and Fandango at home for $4 each. I say we get things kicked off. We are going to be pressing play on The Terminator, and I hope you do as well. In 3, 2, and 1.
Jim Cameron, baby.
Jimmy C. What's your guys' favorite James Cameron film? Let's start it off right.
T2.
Actually, better question. What's your favorite and what do you think is his best? Because I feel like I have two different answers.
T2.
Yeah.
My bias is out the window. Both is the same.
Mine, honestly, hot take. Is it a hot take? I don't know. I think it's Titanic.
It's not a hot take.
That's not a hot take.
I think his best film is Titanic. My personal favorite's Avatar.
Which one?
Avatar 2009.
Uno.
The extended cut too.
It's Fire and Ash.
Oh, dude, when Fire and Ash drops, I am never gonna shut up about it.
Oh shit, dude! I'm only 4 years away from this. 2029, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
watching
like
this last night, I was like, hold on. For anybody watching this movie, I think it was a $6 million budget, and this is stunning work. All the flashbacks are fantastic. And
what's funny is that we talk about
who
this
we have to
movie
shout
just in
out
general.
right away. We have to shout out Roger Corman right away, because he's the one who hired Jim Cameron, and he was just working on random stuff for him, and he's the one who essentially put him through film school.
Did Corman produce Piranha 2? I would assume.
Yeah,
I think that's how we got him. Yeah. Which we're not doing Piranha 2 for any
We're
listeners.
not doing Piranha 2, yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry
we're
for
just
the
not sitting
big
through that.
Piranha 2 fans.
Someone in the back is just like, fuck!
He closes it. 1 star on this
This is
pod.
horseshit!
and I think
no,
Joe Dante made the first Piranha. Who I'm a fan of Joe Dante too. I like his work. Just like he'll randomly shoot shows and stuff too. I like him.
The opening scene to this, I think the opening sequence with the little like opening sequence like the 2029 AD. Terminator 2 has a sequence that's like that. And the entire that one scene is more expensive than the entirety of this
entire budget
movie.
movie, right?
Probably. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. No, it's not.
But
Probably
the thing
it
is,
the entire budget
thing
of
is
this
that-
movie was spent in that opening scene.
What he does with this movie is the realization that Linklater, Christopher Nolan, a lot of people had, where it's like, we don't need the budget to do all this stuff. It's like we can work our way around it and get it done. Not everything in this movie is perfect.
Yeah.
But the storytelling is perfect in this movie.
I miss these opening sequences.
Adam
kind of
Greenberg.
6-7 movies. Yeah.
He shot the crap out of a lot of movies.
6.4
looks-
mil, made
There's
70.
something about the way
shit.
that it moves that it just you don't get this from movies now, man.
Y'all want to hear a funny story? I was reading the BFI. BFI has these little books. This book came out in '96 about the Terminator, and it has an excerpt of of James Cameron talking about the movie before it comes out, and he was skeptical himself. He's like, "Yeah, there's a movie called 2010 coming out. Dune is coming out this weekend, like David Lynch's Dune," and he was like, "Yeah, it's like we're fighting, for this weekend or whatever it is."
Oh, is
And
that
it ends up
2010?
being he's the one who wins.
Was that the
And
sequel
what's
to
crazy is that
2001?
if that was
2010?
the case, 2010, yeah.
With Roy Scheider?
I think so.
I think so. And it's like, no offense to the other two films, this is the one that stood the test of time. And not that, what
Yeah.
David Lynch isn't doing is compelling. It's just,
Nah, you can
this is-
say it, Vikash. It's not very good.
I mean, no.
Here's the thing,
but
man.
that's
That's
he
the
didn't-
biggest
he
deal
didn't
in
like
the
it
world.
I respect
like it
a swing
either.
for the fence than, no swings at all.
I find that David Lynch's Dune has a lot of great stuff in it, but unfortunately, it's just one of those movies that was put through the fucking ringer of like the
Nerfed.
studio,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
messing with it and saying like, "Oh, well, you can't do this." They wanted another Star Wars. Dune just isn't Star Wars, and for the most part, like it's just not the kind of movie you're gonna see.
If
Be that
anyone is
kind of story.
contemplating this 4K,
Looks good.
$1,000,000% worth it.
Yeah, Pat was actually
We were
just telling me
talking about
about
that
it earlier. Yeah, we were literally
There's
talking about it before you got
there's
on.
a few shots with Linda Hamilton that look clearly they touched her up with what
Yeah.
Cameron used to do it. But I thought it looked fantastic. I know people were complaining about it, and we were talking
Oh
about
no,
it earlier.
this
Like,
it
I
still
think people are
looks
just
fantastic.
complaining to complain.
There's a Blu-ray out there for this movie that has like that exact shot of Schwarzenegger like standing up like that, and I think it's the best version like artwork wise that we've seen.
Mm.
The 4K
Yeah.
version that the artwork, I remember I sent it in the group chat one time,
yeah.
and I said like finally we have like a 4K that doesn't have the shittiest artwork in the world.
Yeah.
But I remember that the Blu-ray that I saw for this one time, it had like a red case with it, and I was like, oh, that looks so clean. I wanted to get it so bad. I already
I
have
remember
it.
I remember when you're talking about. I think I might have had that Blu-ray actually. I think I
Bill
still
Paxton's in this one too, isn't he? He shows up. He's
Yeah.
got blue hair. Yeah.
In a
He's
couple
There he
minutes.
is.
do. They're coming up.
Yeah, there he is. I miss Bill Paxton,
There
man.
he is. He's the only
I
person.
think
to be
I
killed
think you're a
by,
little bit ahead of me and Pat.
Yeah, pause for like 2 seconds. He's the
R.I.P.
only
Bill Paxton, man.
only actor to
It-
ever be killed by an alien, a Terminator, and a Predator.
No, it's him and Lance Henriksen.
Henriksen.
Yeah.
Henriksen, excuse me.
This is Griff. This is
I
Griffin
just
Observatory.
I rewatched what is it? Aliens. He's in Aliens. Amazing in Aliens too.
He's in 2 and 3. Actually, no. I don't think he's in 3. He might be. I don't remember.
Yeah, but did he wrangle a twister? I don't think so.
Someone was talking about how someone was thirsting about Bill Paxton in the 90s recently, and they're like, oh, like men were complaining like, oh, this man's not attractive. I'm like, in what world is Bill Paxton
That
He's a
dude's
not a
handsome
good
dude.
looking dude?
sex appeal. You ever seen Lone Star?
They're showing
Jeez.
Lone Star at a theater next to me
Yeah.
pretty close.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Near Dark personally.
Near
was
Dark
easy,
needs a
though.
good Blu-ray.
That's true.
I thought it was getting
A good
I'm
Blu-ray
surprised-
and
I
a
think that's
4K.
I feel like that'd be a Criterion movie. I'm surprised it's not.
Vikash, I'm gonna be driving pretty close to you pretty soon.
When or we'll talk about it afterwards.
I'm gonna be going to see Sinners on that IMAX.
Yeah, what are your
that you guys have in
plans?
Pooler.
Tell me your plans right now on the pod.
Well,
I mean,
that's
so
what I'm saying.
if
We'll
anything,
talk-
it is
we'll
a little
talk.
bit movie related. I'm going to see Sinners on that IMAX screen in Pooler, Georgia, the tallest
Oh.
IMAX in the world, I think.
Okay.
You're gonna go see
We'll
you're gonna
talk.
see, Haley Steinfeld. Is that who
Okay,
you're
so this
Apparently,
the
Shine
CG
Row?
here is fantastic still.
is that what
This
I'm
is this CG or is this animation? I can't tell.
This is stop motion.
Okay.
No, I just made that up. I don't.
Okay, I want to talk about it right off the jump. Michael Bain, I don't know how to say this man's name. This man is fantastic in this movie. I don't know how this man didn't have a dramatic acting career after this.
Kyle Reese.
I mean, he was in The Abyss.
I mean, yeah, he's
Yeah.
in this, he's in Aliens,
Aliens.
he's in Abyss. But like after that, I'm talking about like genuinely, like last time I saw him was in Mandalorian. And even in that, he's a great actor. Like, but like in this movie, what he has to sell is, you know, the whole emotion. Like, yeah, we get
Oh.
flashbacks, but he's the one who's selling the emotion of the future, right? And
I'm
the
looking at,
whole energy of like the fear of the machines, right? And he sells it so well.
I'm looking at his IMDb, and he played Topher Grace's dad in Take Me Home Tonight. I forgot about that.
I think everyone
I
forgot
mean,
about that.
what is
movie.
that, 2010?
I like that
2009.
movie. It's not very good. but I
2009?
like
Is that
it.
when it came out? Which one was
Yeah,
right?
he's in
2009.
he's in the Grindhouse. He's in Planet Terror. He's sheriff.
He's a sheriff.
Which I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about like he has a leading man quality to him. Okay,
I mean,
let's
yeah,
just talk
like-
about like this is James Cameron's first movie, and the energy is fantastic.
I will
Technically,
not
Piranha 2 is his first movie.
Piranha 2 slander on the pod.
Nah,
We're not going to take
talking
slander. We're
about-
just not going to talk about it.
The fact that they took that movie away from him and everyone at Post just speaks Italian, so he can't even get into the process. I don't
I mean,
even
I
count
can't-
that as being his movie.
I'll be honest. I've never seen Piranha 2, so
I've seen
I
it once.
haven't
It's
either.
awful. Don't watch it.
I was actually thinking about watching it just to complete his filmography since there's only like 9 movies, so it's pretty easy to do. So
It's
like,
got a.
do I need to watch
That's the
Piranha
thing
1 to
with that's
understand?
the thing with Cameron though is that like you watch his movies and like with the exception of Piranha, every
Yeah.
movie feels like it's like doing something revolutionary in terms
It's
of
like
like filmmaking, technology. Like he
And
breaks.
he wanted to do that with this movie, right? He wanted to have
100%.
two different Terminators that come at different times, but it's just like the formatting of just visual effects and stop motion. It just could not work with the budget and everything in between. So
I actually read something about Terminator 2 and just sort of the design of the T. Is it the 1000?
yeah,
The
Stan
T1000 and
Winston.
just yeah, and we could talk a little bit more
Oh,
about that once we get to T2. But there's a lot that goes into that movie. It's so cool to see.
so think about this set and skip to Terminator Genesis, and you see the fundamental difference
Terminator
of just disgustingly different modern like cinematography. And he worked on like Jim Cameron. He worked on. It's not as not is I think it is Escape from New York. John Carpenter. I think as a visual effects supervisor or to some extent. And you can feel like that sort of vibe in this just a little bit when it's on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
Well, it's kind of like
anything
even
past even Rise of the Machines has some good qualities to it. Like it's not a great
Yeah.
story, but filmmaking wise,
honestly,
it's pretty solid.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of like Salvation. It's not great, but
Salvation's getting a resurgence online. It's weird.
It's not bad. I
I
mean, I'm not
should
a
watch it to really see
Genesis
I
if it's
think
what it
I think
or
I'm in the
Dark Fate
minority
fan.
here. What's the thoughts on Terminator Genesis?
I don't
I've
like
seen
it.
it once, and I don't remember anything about it, and I
It
don't remember
stinks,
liking it
and I
at
don't
all.
like it.
Four out of
I don't make
five.
movies. I make
4 out of 5.
films.
What? Get the fuck out of here!
I really
You were
enjoyed
sitting
that
here
movie.
dogging on it two
Wait, what
seconds
about
ago, and now you're
No, no,
like,
no, wait, no, no, wait,
"Ah,
not Terminator
fuck."
Genesis. My bad. Wait, when Terminator Dark Fate.
Genesis is
Excuse
with
me.
Jason
Dark
Statham.
Fate.
Uh,
Not Amelia Clark.
uh,
Not 2015. What's the
Wait,
thoughts on Dark Fate?
boo!
Dark
Get him
Fate was
out of
with
here.
that's
Mackenzie
Dark
when Lil
Fate with
Davis.
Hamilton came
Mackenzie.
back. When Lil
Yeah.
Hamilton, yeah, yeah. I wasn't a big fan of that one either.
Jarvis, mute Vikash.
I
I
mean,
really
let's be
enjoyed
honest,
it.
guys. Let's be honest. Anything after T2 is just not
Yeah, I
amazing.
know it's nowhere close to this. I understand that, but like the renewal of the fear, the update of what they were going for, they definitely achieved it. And what they were going down the line for is making a trilogy of movies where there's an end to Sarah Connor's story and that they would actually fully end these stories. But obviously that's never going to happen, but I mean, I enjoyed it. And it was a whole thing for me. I was like, wait, I totally forgot that Arnold was even in the movie. I was enjoying the movie that much when I saw it. So
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I was like target audience, which I think y'all are too.
I watched. I didn't love it, unfortunately.
It was better
I mean,
than
I didn't love it
it was better
either,
than
but like,
Genesis, but
I really enjoyed it.
I mean,
well, I was a big boy.
Salvation's kind of having a resurgence online. McG directed it. I do need to rewatch that. I
Uh,
do feel
I
like
mean, the director
actually,
of We Are Marshall.
After-
we're on. Okay, McG is a paycheck director. That's all I'm gonna
after
say.
we get done with the first two Cameron Terminators, I'm probably gonna go to my way to watch the rest of them just to kind of feel like I finish these off and feel like maybe I can rewatch these and appreciate them in a different way. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I do want to re-examine these.
Have you seen the
I do want to
TV show?
rewatch Rise of the
Have you
Machines.
seen the Sarah?
Yeah, the Sarah Connor
Chronicles?
Chronicles. Yeah.
I saw
with
Net-
fucking Lena Headey?
Yeah.
I haven't
Leonidi.
seen it. Netflix
good.
also put out an anime, what I heard was just pretty
It was good
decent,
too. Yeah, it was Mattson Tomlin who co-wrote the Batman with Matt Reeves. That was his show. He actually
actually
is
do remember,
working on
funny
another
enough-
show for Predator, if I remember correctly. Wait, no, is it Predator? It's some new IP, some big IP or something. They're working on a show. I like how we get
it was-
silent at the burly beef.
That looks pretty fire. But him and like Fincher are kind of the same, where they don't even really acknowledge their first movie.
Okay.
Like this, you would say Seven. Fincher would say Seven's his first movie, and obviously
It is.
Cameron would say this is his first movie, and not really
Okay, I don't want to bring it up right now, but I really want to bring it up because we haven't talked about this. Once Upon a
Say
Time
it.
is getting Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is getting a sequel at Netflix.
Shitpost.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
I
I don't want it.
I
I
think
don't
that's about
want
as
it.
real as World War Z 2.
Hopefully.
I remember that when that was like a huge deal online. People were saying that David Fincher's doing a World War Z too. I was like, get the fuck out of here. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Y'all remember when they used to cast actors that look like real people?
I do.
This guy behind the
Yeah.
gun counter.
You know who
People are
still
too
does?
pretty now. They used to
You
have
know who still
ugly
does?
people in movies.
Cohen's still do.
Yeah.
Not a real guy.
I think when I realized it was when they did what is it? The movie with Michael Stuhlbarg, A Serious Man.
Oh, A
That's the
Serious
one.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
The great Richard Kine's in that movie.
You know what's crazy is when you see No Country for Old Men, that guy that's behind the counter when he does the coin flip thing, I was like, this is the fucking
Oh
scene.
yeah. That
This
guy's
is the
in
guy that like he's in
he
the
was
Killers
in
of the Flower
Killers,
Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon, yeah. Because I remember seeing it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the.
Oh
No
yeah,
Country.
he is. Yeah. He's one of the wolves, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not in it for very long. But that's what I mean is that like that guy is so like he has such a
That's
distinct
great,
face where like you don't even
Yeah.
question the fact that he's like not a movie star.
That was a great transition.
Actually,
from-
since we're talking about Terminator, in Terminator Salvation, the little girl that Kyle Reese has with her, Anton Yelkin's character has, she is randomly she's a music artist, and of all days, today I started listening to her music. She has another guy that she does music with, and I was like, I recognize this girl. She has no other big credits besides Terminator Salvation, and it's been how many years, you know? And she's a
Yeah.
little girl in that. She's obviously in her 20s now, but it's like once you see a good face, you don't typically forget those.
Yeah,
And y'all are talking about the guy from No Country. That's exactly what he is.
He had a really good transition back there when Arnold shot the gun on
Oh,
her.
it was amazing.
And then he cut to Kyle.
Optimus Prime.
This little bit comes back at the end when Arnold gets
Yeah.
run over by the truck. But he shoots the gun up close and he cuts to Kyle Reese cutting the gun up, being like, okay, these bros know how to work guns. They know what the fuck they're doing with this shit.
They're both
What
doing
I
the
love
same
about-
thing too, going to like
Yeah.
phone books and looking for her address. They have the
Basically,
same
yeah.
mindset. It tells the audience that like
I'd be like,
even without
Also, it's
saying
like,
a
yeah.
word, they're both looking for the same person.
I'm like, damn, they got phone books in the future still. I don't know what a phone book is.
2029 is crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't used a phone book in a fucking decade.
Like they still make them, I think.
They
You have to
do.
like order. You have
Yeah.
to order it though,
Yeah.
because they used to just give it to you as part
You
of. your,
see
like,
this, y'all see this scene right here. You see the
This was a house
slowdown of
phone.
this action, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of moments in this movie where James Cameron either slows down the motion or speeds it up, and it's something where it's like,
builds
we
tension.
hear all of the drama of like the slow motion of Zack Snyder, but this is actually
Yeah.
somewhere I was watching the last
He
time. I was like,
he also doesn't
this
show
is
them-
actually the way to do it.
He also doesn't show them getting killed either, because it's like
Yeah.
an innocent kill. It's innocent. Like that person is not who he's looking for.
But there's multiple moments like through the movie where he just like he either slows it really down or he really speeds stuff up.
And you realize just how much they just show machines like moving around in this.
No, oh no! Talk about a transition. Talk about a transition. The one right here when he's dreaming, when he goes from present to the future. Oh Lord! Now that's
And
a
this is-
transition.
Cameron basically, dude, he just like innovates everything. He basically, him and Ridley Scott created essentially this genre, which is tech noir, which then, funny enough, is the club.
I say there's a scene
Yeah.
where they go to the club
It's
and they
basically
see it on
the-
the wall.
Have you
how,
all
like,
ever seen the
how
video on YouTube?
Machines and technology are going to destroy essentially Earth, which
Yeah,
they're on
my
some-
biggest nightmare.
yeah.
No, but have y'all seen the thing on YouTube of like they cut together like Carlito's Way, they cut together this, the bar scene from Clone Wars is like everybody's in the same club. Have y'all seen that? I'm talking about this is like look at y'all saw this transition right here, right? That transition was fantastic.
Yeah.
Dude, this is gonna be me in 4 years.
Have y'all ever been to
Fighting in
have y'all ever
LA.
been to the Terminator 2 ride in Orlando? It's gone now.
Is it still there? I think I did it way back in the day.
It's gone. But I probably went on it at least 100 times, literally. And
Pat, you're watching the 4K for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am.
This scene where with all the like the machines and it's like meant to take place like in the future, does it look like like the film looks kind of damaged, or did they clean it up?
No, they clean it up.
It's
The-
clean.
This one, it
this
looks like the film
transfer's
is damaged.
good.
The Blu-ray I have, but they probably
This
fixed it.
transfer is good. Like
no, like
I don't know why
no,
people are complaining
legitimately.
about
Like compared to True Lies, this like if True Lies is a 7, this is a 9.
And I thought
I
Aliens didn't look
do.
bad either.
I
I
mean,
know
we were
True
talking
Lies
about it
has
before you got on,
problems,
Vikash, but the T2 4K just does not like
yeah,
people
I
say the
haven't.
No,
Blu-ray looks better.
No, yeah,
literally, I have the Blu-ray. And that's all I've got. Look
yeah,
at
I got the
this.
Blu-ray.
Look at this. This is 6 million. $6 million.
Yeah,
It was a different time.
It's a different time, but even
You had
then,
to be creative with what you did.
But
yeah.
that's the thing. That was the philosophy that like Gil Hurd and Jim had was like,
Mhm.
we can make this work.
There was
Use
also
every dirty trick in the book.
like
320
back
million
then
dollar
there was like a
movie.
desire to like make things look better. And now it's
True.
Yeah.
like they don't give a shit about cinematography or how colors look
No.
on screen. I
Lighting.
think they yeah, that's the big thing is I think that right now there's
Listen,
this weirdly weird spot where like compression is a big thing on streaming services
yeah.
Mhm.
because people aren't really getting the full value of what they're paying for. And
I
so
was
it becomes this
listening.
thing where they're just like not even putting effort in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to Christopher McQuarrie talk about the making of whatever Mission Possible Dead Reckoning, Mission 7.
Mhm.
And he's talking about there's a courtyard scene in Venice where they have a meeting with the entity, but it's outside before they get inside. And he was like, yeah, my gaffer, like Mark Smith, this man had the lighting done within 30 minutes. Like I wanted to have the colors change. It was already LEDs and they had it ready within 30 minutes. And it's like that's a good looking movie. They did their,
Even yeah.
it's
But
like
they
Even
would
if
right
you
here,
forget
really
about
care,
all the
you'll
Mission
find
Impossible
people
movies.
who
They all
know
look
how to do
great.
it. Yeah.
when it cuts back, it's like the same exact lighting as that war scene. Like it's just
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
lighting. Like
The blue in this movie is a blue I chase. Like this is a blue that we don't have in movies anymore. Y'all obviously we go back to Thief, but like
Michael
the
Mann
blue in
Steve.
this
Yes,
movie.
I was
yeah,
literally gonna say
Thief. This
Michael
is
Mann
Thief.
Steve, dude.
Yeah.
The shot of him driving away is literally Thief. like literally.
You could pull that shot out of the movie and you'd probably think it's safe.
Yeah.
That's so
Did that
crazy.
Did that 4K come out of Thief? Is that
Yeah.
already out?
I
The
it
Arrow
hasn't
I
been
have the
out
Arrow
yet.
one.
Is the
The
Criterion one out?
Criterion's putting one out too.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm like, I might upgrade to that because
I just
gotta
got
look
that Blu-ray
fucking
too. I
good.
fucking hate myself.
And that's that was one of the first Criterions I bought was that. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna might fucking upgrade that shit. There are a few I've upgraded, like Seven Samurai. Yeah, I gotta upgrade that 4K.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Like this shot right
You
here, you can tell they touched her face up. It's really touched up.
yeah,
But it doesn't.
I mean, I
Like,
see
it's
it,
not
but like
bad,
it's
but
not disturbing me.
no. But I think
I'm
people
not
like
gonna
think that's
lie,
a
the
great
dude on the
shot.
phone, I thought it was the dude from Police Academy. I forgot his name.
Gutenberg,
Yeah,
my
no,
man,
no,
Steve Gutenberg.
the main guy.
I don't remember. I've only seen the first Police Academy. I know
Or
my
like the
boy
main
Gutenberg.
character. I forgot his name. He's in Ballers at some point also.
It's Gutenberg, Steve Gutenberg.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Steve Gutenberg. There we go.
Yeah.
You said his name so fast. I was like Gutenberg. I was like, who's Gutenberg?
You mean the coach in the Big Green, the local town sheriff? You ever seen the Big Green with the soccer team?
No,
Here's the
no,
last
no.
person.
Legitimately.
And
have
the
not.
kid from the Sandlot is in it. Come on, man. You gotta watch more Disney films from the '90s.
You're an old man.
I know. I got a walker next to me.
I miss when cops look like this in movies. Like they used to make like
But
cop
that's
faces.
what I'm saying.
There's always one cop that just doesn't give a shit. Like he's just I don't care. It's like it's literally the Lethal Weapon. I'm too old for this fucking.
And
shit.
it's not like this man. This man literally was nominated for an
time.
Oscar. This actor right here. And it's like
even just like like his costume design, his glasses just look like a little small, like on his
Yeah.
head. Like it's just like I got everything I need to know about this guy. Like I got it right away.
It's so weird seeing Lance Henriksen in this movie after seeing him in Aliens, and not even like a oh my god, he looks so young because he doesn't look that much younger. But it's just like man, like he had such a career.
Mhm.
yeah, he still has a career. If you look at anybody, go look up Lance Henriksen's like IMDb. He has an incredibly illustrious voice acting, regular live action acting.
Yeah, he does a lot
career
of voice
to this
acting.
day.
Funny
And
enough,
he's-
whenever
is he alive still? I'm not sure.
whenever the
Yeah,
new
he's
Alien came out,
84.
I was actually
He's
talking to
84.
someone about the movie, and they had heard about like the CG Ian Holmes. Spoiler
Yeah.
for anybody who hasn't seen Romulus, but I was talking about it with someone at work, and they said that they had heard about it, and they were like, "Is it Lance Henriksen?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I would have fucking killed myself if it was him."
What do y'all? I mean, I didn't think it was bad.
I thought it was
Did
the
you
worst part
you
of
didn't
that
watch it in
movie.
theaters, did you,
but
Vikash?
Oh, I did.
Oh,
Oh,
you
I,
did?
I had a
Okay.
I had a godly experience at the festival.
Oh wait, yeah,
That's like
you
one of
did.
my
I remember now.
that's
Never
one of
mind,
my
never mind.
favorite movie going experiences ever, hands down.
I was really rocking with it until CG and Holmes showed up. And I think it's not because it like looked because for what it was, it looked solid, but it's like there's still that essence of like just a little bit of the uncanny valley, even if it's a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. It's still turned me off so much.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's in it like a lot. So every
Yeah.
time
For
I thought
me,
about
it
it, I was
was
like, I gotta look past this. I can't just
the
let this
only
hang
reason
over me.
it
But
didn't
every time
irk
I
me.
forget about it, I would just get pissed off.
It's like Tarkin in Rogue One. That irks me because we know he's dead and he's really doing a big role. But the version of Ian Holm being kind of just like a messed up whatever AI that's like kind of just sitting on the counter the entire movie, that worked for me. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Mm.
But
there's
that's the
that
only
essence
time it's
of
ever
like,
worked for me.
first off, he's also dead.
Yeah,
Second off,
Yeah.
the idea that Ian Holm has to play this character doesn't really make any sense to me because it's like they say, it's not even the same
100%.
character. It's just
You know
another
who it should have
droid that is
been?
the same model.
Who?
It should have
Should have
been
been
fucking
Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah. Being a
That
different
would
that
have
same
worked.
droid.
It's either you do Fassbender or just cast another actor.
Should have been
It should have
should
just
have been
been
Arnold
Fassbender,
Schwarzenegger.
bro. It would have brought it
It's
all
like,
home.
oh, okay.
That could
I
have
hate
been
to
like
keep bringing this
the
up,
third version of
but
like the David trilogy. Everybody would have been happy.
Q was talking about how for Mission Possible they were gonna do de-aging for Tom Cruise for like a flashback, and he looked at the numbers that they're talking about for it. He was like, "Oh fuck this!" He's like, "We're not doing this."
Dude, we need to have more news crews barging into police precincts being like, what's going on? Like camera right on the right on
Uh,
the fucking
haven't you heard
detectives.
journalism's dead?
Then they'll come up and shoot you like Jack Ruby.
Fake news.
Man, Civil War, man, that was a movie.
Don't say that on Twitter. You'll get fucking
Yeah.
dragged.
Even even his like
I
his
was
glasses are even crooked too, which just makes it even better. They're like
I
crooked.
watched Opus recently, and whatever, whatever everybody feels about the movie, it is what it is. But I was like, this movie automatically had me on their side because she was a journalist. I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah, I liked Opus. Me and Pat were talking about it. I don't think it's a great movie, but I had fun with it because of John
S-
Malkovich. I like
Same.
the music that he plays.
Whatever the director does next, definitely gotta watch it because
Mm.
he's got the sauce.
The movie's not like inherently original, and it's very much the kind of thing that suffers from like, oh, you're pulling this from this from this, and not even like in an inspired way. But it had so much sauce that I was like, you know what? I don't even care that these are leftovers. I don't even care that these are frozen chicken nuggets that you put in an air fryer and passing it off to me as something new.
But
It's
it's like
fine.
John, Io, like that makes the movie for me. I love them both.
They both were a lot of fun. I think that's the only reason I liked it.
And throw in like Amber Mid Thunder, who doesn't say a single word in the movie. Like she's fantastic. Everyone else, they do their part.
You've
Marie Wallace from White Lotus, same thing.
I think you're missing like even at this time, like with like Opus, then you like watch this at this time that people have never seen a movie like this before. And you watch
Yeah,
a movie like Opus and you're like, I've seen this movie 800 times. It's the
true.
same movie,
Yeah,
Eat the
100%.
Rich. It's the
And
same.
Terminator
And you watch this, it's
changed.
like it changed science fiction film forever. Like this movie, it's a $6 million movie, changed film and moving forward and throughout the entire 1980s. It changed film, just Terminator.
And it's horrifying. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like the staying power of this movie to this day is
And I think that's what
amazing.
studios are afraid to do now. They would never drop the Terminator now. They'd be like, what is this? No, you need to make an IP. Obviously, Terminator is an IP now, which is kind of
But it wasn't when
contradictory
it came
to what I'm
out. That's the
saying.
only
It
problem
wasn't
with
what I
like
came.
the
They
studios
took a
doing
risk.
anything is
They
that
took a risk then. Like if this movie, because this movie could have made for 6 million, it could have made 500 grand at the box office. You have no freaking idea, and then it would have become a cult classic. And
the
you never
amount
know.
of
The
movies that
work
like
speaks
get
for
pitched as
itself.
just like an
Yeah.
original story, then it gets picked up and it's like repurposed as like oh, it's the fourth movie of this franchise. We just rewrote all the characters to basically fit for this
Mhm.
movie. It's insane. Saw 2 is basically that. I don't know if anybody knows that.
Yeah.
Saw 2 was like its own movie, and then the first Saw movie did so well that they were like, we're gonna buy the script and we're gonna turn
Yeah, we're
everything
just
into
gonna
Saw.
shift it
Make it a
into
Saw
that.
movie. Yeah. Make the twist. It's basically a Saw movie. Here's their tech noir.
It's a nice jacket she's got on.
One of the great things about this movie is the
Yo, Kyle,
silence.
make it more obvious, bro.
That the entire time, like, there's tension playing out throughout this movie. Arnold doesn't say anything, and even Reese doesn't say much, and he's playing every single piece of tension possible.
Well, it's like at this point, like we obviously know that who Kyle Reese is, but if you're the first audience member, you're like, who's who right now? Like,
but it reminds me.
are they
like,
both
skip
trying
to
to
the
kill
next
her?
movie.
Yeah, are they both
like
trying
Guns
to
N'
kill her?
Roses, like in the hallway, T-1000.
Yeah, when she
And
sees
so
him
you
again,
see-
being like, yeah,
Yeah, you see
and
his
she's like, oh
face. You
shit,
see his
yeah.
yeah.
This is a very well written movie. I mean, from a lot of perspectives, but it's again, we keep coming back to it, but like it does a lot of visual information that doesn't tell you anything without hand feeding you stuff. And it's like I think when you get like 40 minutes in, you finally able to realize like, oh, okay, this is what's actually happening, and there's a sense
But
of
the thing
urgency
is,
to everything.
will they respect him for this? Like, I don't even know what came out at the Oscars this year. It doesn't even matter because it's like we're watching this movie. There's a reason why this movie has a staying power. It's like,
1984.
and it's like genre, especially this is sci-fi bending on horror. Like, they don't really,
I see
they
this
don't
the
respect
first.
this sort
I
of
think the
work.
first
Sci-fi
Terminator is a horror
noir.
movie.
Sci-fi like noir, essentially. It's a noir film, just
Have
with
you
science
guys
fiction.
have you guys seen the concept art for this movie?
No, or
I
I've
think
seen,
so.
I saw,
If
I've
you get
read.
a chance, when you get a chance, like just Google Terminator concept art because it may as well be a horror movie. Like
Did Jim do it?
it's definitely like sci-fi noir action, but there's definitely like elements of it that are like meant to be where the T-800 is like a monster. It's
Yeah.
so fucking cool to look at that like concept art.
And the thing was, James Cameron is the guy, like many other directors, where they're like, he has experience doing almost every job possible on a set. So it's like he knows where things need to be. And his opinion was always that people are giving too much of like their creative vision over to other people that they're working with. And we know, but maybe other people don't know, but James Cameron's kind of a stickler. I don't know how to say it in a better way. I think they made shirts on this movie where they're like, we're not scared. We work for James Cameron.
Yeah.
And we know the stories of him, nailing phones to the wall and all this
I
sort
was
of
gonna
stuff.
say with
But
Avatar, yeah. I
it's
was actually talking about that the other day on set.
I understand it comes off as toxic. I understand, but the work speaks for itself. And I don't think that, being a terrible human being makes way for your art. But Jim Cameron, he's been getting better at being a better person, I think,
Here's
over
my
the
thing with
years.
something like that concept though, is that like you're talking about the idea of nailing someone's phone to a wall. You're talking about having no chairs on set, no phones on set, whatever it might be. All you're
Yeah.
really doing is making sure that everybody is focused in some way, shape, or form. And like, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Maybe don't nail someone's phone to a fucking wall, but also
Yeah.
maybe don't have your phone out on set if he asks you not to.
Yeah, exactly.
The big one that I think about that everyone that it like kind of irks me because like I'm not defending the guy whatsoever. Like he can be a weird guy, whatever it might be. But Tom Cruise with the whole thing with Dead Reckoning Part 1 when that whole thing leaked of him like yelling at somebody on set. It was because
Yeah.
of COVID regulations. It had nothing to do
Oh,
with him
yeah.
wanting to be a dick.
So
Oh no, yeah.
Like COVID regulations and
he was
people like being
justified.
shut down every
So
week. Like
put it
that is
this
someone's
way.
job.
Yeah,
If
he
you
was
guys
justified in
don't-
doing that. Yeah.
he was talking about it, and McHugh said there was literally he moved his wife had left from London and she couldn't even get back to him without like a 20-day, like 10-day coming and then 10 days going back to like get to his kids. He couldn't see his wife. They couldn't do anything. He moved out of his house into an apartment with Tom
and
Cruise,
that
and
stuff
they
started,
worked together.
COVID happened right when like they started to shoot stuff.
So what happened was, okay, real quick. They were going to Venice to shoot it. No, they're going to Rome to shoot. And he got to Rome. No, it was Venice, excuse me. And he and his wife went there and they had their dog. And she had the dog with her, like on her chest. And they started doing thermal scans. This is maybe February, March. And she ended up actually getting like taken away by the police. And they went, checked it out. Everything was fine. But he then proceeds to call Tom and be like, don't even come. Like you don't need to come here. We're not going to be shooting, because he saw like something was wrong.
Yeah. But
And you know what
again,
he
like that's my
did?
point
He
is that
literally
like they
sat
were
there. They're evacuating Venice, and this man is sitting there. He and Eddie Hamilton just open up like they go to Tom Cruise's room. They start editing Top Gun Maverick because they have literally nothing else to do.
yeah, I mean,
I was like, because there's the iguana, there's like a
Yeah,
pet, and I was looking up. Iguanas can have minor injuries heal very quickly,
yeah.
and I was like,
They
oh,
can
it's like a
they can
Terminator. They can
they can
nearly
what you
heal
call
a
it? They can
second.
also lose like their
Yeah,
tail and
and
they can grow it back.
they can
those are
like
lizards. Is
shed.
that iguanas
They can.
too?
Is it not an iguana in this? A lizard? Same thing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Are
They're like
yeah.
that
iguanas the
type of
same thing as a
reptile.
lizard?
It's like they can change their color too. It was like, oh, they're kind of like Terminators in a way. Like
Chameleons, yeah.
they can. I mean, he's not really blending in here, but he's gonna
But
start shooting up
okay,
the
so
place.
you see this scene. I think everyone else is walking. They're dancing at a different speed than she's acting, and then Arnold is acting.
Yeah.
And when he moves in on her, watch the way they're dancing, the speed they're dancing at, and then the speed that he's walking at, and the speed of the shot itself. And it's like every single thing.
But
The
even like
the
right here, like
thoughts are
you don't know
genius.
who's coming at her first. Like, what's Kyle here for? Because
Yeah.
you don't know who he is either. Oh, here we
So if you
go.
compare this to the moment, the Guns N' Roses moment, this is definitely I like the one in Terminator 2, but I love this one more.
The one in
So you
Terminator
see
2 is
what I
like
mean?
way farther
You
in
see the
too.
you
It's
see
like
how
50
like
minutes
slow
in.
they're dancing?
Mm-hmm. Wait,
And
Arnold
then
Schwarzenegger.
he's going faster and then she's kind of in the middle
Yeah.
and it's all time. Look at this. Look at this.
Get out of my fucking way.
And one thing Cameron does is he always emphasizes action moments. And look how
Mhm.
and he look at this. See?
Damn. See, he healed himself. Yeah, go on.
You know, actually, funny enough,
Arnold's literally
Pat,
perfect for this fucking
your
movie.
Okay,
comment
I
about
got a
like
question for y'all.
the
Is
lizard,
Arnold Schwarzenegger a good actor?
he's all right
For what
for what
like this
for what's
for
needed
this
here.
he's
Yeah,
good. Or like this is like he doesn't have any lines and he's just walking around. Like it's good. But watching like Jingle All the Way, I'm like he's really bad in this movie, but it's
Oh,
hilarious.
I love that movie. I love that
but
movie.
Put the
but
cookie down.
to your point, Pat, like in the second movie, the T-1000 is like, if I remember correctly, he like makes himself look like the adopted mom, and he makes himself sound like her.
Yeah, he can like
Like he's
shift
able
like
to like
shape
shape
shift
shifts.
almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good point. I didn't even
So they're
think about
essentially
that.
they're like creatures. Like
Yeah.
They're able to like
obviously
sort of
they're not supposed to be
manipulate.
human.
That
Yeah.
shot going out the window is
Well,
iconic.
even in this, like Arnold, like when he's on the phone, he changes his voice to sound like
Yeah,
so like her mom. So like they can shapeshift, which is like the terror of technology. It's like who's to say in 10 years someone calls you and you don't know it's your.
that's basically
It
what's
might not
happening
be your
now with a
mom.
lot of
It
people.
might not
People
be your
getting
mom.
scammed.
Yeah, it could be a scam artist. Arnold's gonna call you and be like, "I'll be back. I'll call back."
I did not hit her.
I did not hit
What?
her. It is not true. It is bullshit. I did not hit her.
He did.
Oh, hi, Mark.
What a great story, Mark.
What a story, Mark.
So when he hits the windshield again with the timing, you'll see a very good effect with it.
Damn.
See,
'Cause
he
Arnold did all
slows
his-
down. He
Yeah.
slows down the hit.
Mm-hmm. Arnold did all his stunts, right?
Probably.
I think
He
so.
either did them all or someone was. I mean, this he probably didn't do.
No, yeah, that he didn't. He's not on there, but yeah.
Even Keanu doesn't do all this. Like,
the studio won't let you. Like, no.
and even
It's
Tom
really more
Cruise
of like
doesn't
a
do all of his
liability
stunts.
thing. Even
but
if the
we won't
actors
talk
want to
about
do
that.
it, they won't let them do it.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the fucking liability claim that they have on, or the liability insurance they have on Tom Cruise, dude.
I know.
Imagine the payout that was on
But you look
Fallout
right
when he
there,
broke
like-
his
like-
ankle.
Because he was on fire, they burned his eyebrows off. Gotta make it realistic. His
No,
eyebrows.
no,
would
no.
be
He cut him off.
They cut
He had he got him insured. He literally had him insured with some company in London. The stunt driving in this movie is great.
Mm-hmm. When they actually
Not
shot movies
flashy
in like
either. Like
LA.
it does the job. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, see, that's the thing. I like competent work. I mean,
This is more
John
than competent
Frankenheimer, go
though.
to Ronin. I mean, you see the Ronin influence later. Low key, watching this movie, I thought that Christopher Nolan definitely took from this for Batman Begins of all movies.
In what way?
So when they're in the car, I don't know. There's like certain scenes in this movie where I'm like, this just feels like the vibe of this movie reminds me of Batman Begins, and I don't know, like it's not everything, but this scene right here where they're in the car, and Katie Holmes and I forgot her name, Rachel and Batman are in the Batmobile, and she's having her whole like episode. It reminds me of that.
I could see
Different
that. I could see
situation,
what
but it's
you're
kind of the sort of same vibe to me.
saying.
That little head turn.
They hear some shape shifting his
I love
voice.
no. See, that's the thing. That's a very simple thing to do, but the effect is fantastic. You just had someone go and loop it over,
you have the audience right there going like, "Oh shit, he can like be anybody. Like he can just say anything." And yeah,
and that's the AI. The horror of it. Y'all haven't.
yeah.
I keep talking about this show, but Jonathan Nolan, Person of Interest. There's a point where there's two warring AI machines, and the AI machine literally brings out a kid, and the kid is doing all the talking for the machine, and it is horrifying.
I mean, this is actually a great way to do it. It's like, here's your exposition, but let's do it during a car chase. Like, so
100%.
it's like
This
you're
is
still
the most
locked
dialogue
in.
you've had in most of the movie up until now.
Yeah. So he's explaining essentially what's happening, but it's like instead of them just sitting in the car, like talking or talking somewhere else, do it during a car chase. So it's like an intense conversation.
But that's the best way to do it. I mean, there's so many people who will hate
Say, like,
exposition, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, but this,
Have to
find a way
have
to do
in
it.
you have to have it in some instances. Like
Not
it
some.
works.
You always, or like with
You
narrative
need it.
filmmaking, you always have to have
Yeah.
it. And the amount that you have obviously varies.
Lion. Yo, thief.
Look at
Just
the
thief.
blue in here. Look at or not the blue, but the whites in here.
Jimmy
in the
Kahn gonna
garage.
pop up?
Maybe
Crossover. Let's edit
This
this
is LA,
together.
but
Let's edit this
man.
together.
Thief is Chicago, right?
Yeah, but we can make it like Gotham, where it's just all like one giant city.
You know my Gotham headcanon is, right? That 7 takes place at Gotham. Like Venture 7 is in Gotham.
I can see that. I can see it.
The Terminator's in Gotham.
It's horrifying. It's a horrifying movie.
I mean,
it's always raining. It's always dreary. The vibe of that movie just feels like Gotham.
if you really think of it, every movie can be in the same universe if you really want it to be.
James Bond's about to show up. And then they get outside and they're fighting the Terminator, and then Harry Potter shows up. And then they go outside, and then Aslan is out there, Liam Neeson is out there.
An 8-year-old script.
And then you turn around,
out the ass.
and then Jack
It's like
Reacher's
literally
over
the end
there.
of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
And then you turn around, and it's Harrison Ford as like the Hulk or Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
He's both, actually.
Yeah, he's both.
And then you turn around, and it's Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
It was like a post.
Then you turn around, it's Margot Robbie.
I do.
What's Margot Robbie would be? I guess she'd be Barbie.
Is this the first blood you've seen in the movie?
She hasn't really done IP, right?
Who?
Margot.
She's in Suicide Squad.
Oh, Suicide Squad.
Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
that one made her a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, Barbie's already IP.
Yeah,
Yeah, those two are the IPs. Yeah.
Yeah.
This acting right here, this is what sold me last night.
I think this is the first time you see blood. No, is on her lip
From
him, right?
I mean, no, her roommate earlier, her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And the roommate.
This is the intensity right here, where it's like you gotta sell the fear.
And this is how you light film too, right there in that scene.
That's what scares me about film. I'm like, I would
Unless
love
it's
to
all
do
the President's
film.
Men, because I watched it last night and the scenes
I
are really
know.
dark, but it's purposely like that.
Bro, the shot at night where I think he's walking across the street or something.
No,
It is
that was
so dark, but it
the
looks
shot at
so
the end
good.
when he oversleeps and he sprints down the street and there's just a spotlight at the end of the street and it's like, dude, no one would light this shit today like that.
Gordon
Yeah.
Willis.
God, that movie fucking rips. I can watch that like every day.
That needs a 4K. Well,
I was
That
like
was
thinking
actually
about
funny
that.
enough. I was watching.
oh
I
yeah,
was listening to
all
the
the
Michael
President's
Clayton
Men coming
pod
on
you
the
guys were
pod
doing,
soon.
Yeah.
and I had just watched it recently, so I knew exactly what scenes you guys were talking about without even watching it.
Yeah.
And the scene that you're talking about with the lighting, I was like, yes, actually, I know exactly
Yeah.
what shot you're talking
I
about.
was thinking, I was watching last night. I was like, why is there no 4K for this? And I was like, wait,
Right.
76. There's one next year, the 50th anniversary. They're making the 4K for next year.
They better. All the president. See, y'all know. I was just talking about. I love
Yeah,
journalist
coming on the
movies,
pod.
and
Coming on the pod.
All the President's Men is just an amazing movie.
But like this, even these scenes, like look how this is lit. Like I can see like everything. Like
See,
those
no, but
lights
this
are
is the
so
difference.
blue. Yeah.
How do you light this and this doesn't look overlit? There's a difference in the lighting today,
Yeah.
and then not today, but with general lighting today versus the lighting that they had with these movies back then.
Mm.
Because it's not just one source of lighting here, right? There's
Oh, no.
incredible amount of sources.
There's
like-
here.
just there's like
If
an
you actually
obsession with
sat-
realism. Like they don't
Yeah, if
care
you
about
actually
how
sat in
dramatic
this
everything
car,
is.
yeah, like you're saying, like if you actually sat in this car, your face isn't gonna look like that. Like it's not gonna be that bright. It's unnaturalistic lighting, but it's like movies used to
You
like
need
shit like
unnaturalistic
that. Yeah.
lighting. You need to have
But
it
it's
look
also,
like
but you know what it
Yeah.
is? It's also the presence of shadow on both of their faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays they would be like, "Oh no, no shadow. Why do we need shadow?"
I don't know, man. I feel like it's
Yeah.
kind of a little bit of both. Like there's people who like overlight, there's people who underlight, and there's just like this weird sense of like Wicked. Like I thought Wicked was great, but I do not like the lighting in that movie. It
Oh
looked-
no,
compared
I think
to,
that's a solid movie. Like I like Wicked, but I
you
was
know-
like, this movie looks terrible.
Let's
Like
talk about
after
the
watching
club
Wizard of
lighting.
Oz, like,
The
after
lighting
watching
that they do in Jonathan Sella and his team did on John Wick 2014, John Wick 2. That lighting has come up in all these other movies. They're trying to do these neon LED lights, and it's like no one is doing it with intention like they did in the first place.
But that's again
Like-
back to your point though, Vikash, is that like in the same thing with this movie in general, is that when one movie does really fucking well and everybody sees that it does really well for one specific reason, everybody
Yeah.
tries to go and do the same thing, not because they
Yeah.
actually want to, but because they're like, okay, this movie did it really well.
That's-
Let's do
that's
another movie
studio
that does
note.
the exact same thing. That's the exact same thing that happened with like Across the Spider-Verse. I remember I was working at a theater when that came out. And every single night, whether people were watching it in 3D or 2D, they'd come out and say, like, why does it look like that? And I'd be like, that's just the movie, dude.
Mhm.
That's why it looks like that.
Yeah.
It's because they
Are you talking
made
about
it
the
that
art
way.
style?
Yes. And so
Yeah.
people would come out.
It's like
from
they
2D
drop like a frame rate to make it look like it
Yeah.
feels like a
And
comic.
so
Everybody
people
has all
would
the
come out-
Spider-Mans have different frame rates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the 2D showings, they'd come out and be like, do we need 3D glasses for this? And I was like, no, that's just the movie. And then people who would go see it in 3D would be like, you guys' 3D filter is broken. And we're like, it's not. That's just the movie.
Yeah.
And so then 2 years later, we get Puss in Boots doing the exact same thing. We get that Ninja Turtles movie doing the
Mhm.
exact same thing.
You
And
just
now it's
dropped
like
the
there's
frame
just
Ninja
no
Turtles was
shame. People are
crazy,
just doing
different.
it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They're just
Those-
they
those
see
are-
one
those
movie
are
do
s-
something really well, and then everybody just
Yeah.
goes for the exact same thing.
And those are studio notes. It's like they're saying like,
And
no, it has to look like this.
Terminator,
And, like,
or
and I'm sure after this came out, a lot of students were like, it has to look like Terminator, and I needed to look like Terminator. Dude,
That
I was
Team
on
Mentee
set
movie
all
does not
week,
look good.
Vikash, and I was
Like,
telling Pat about
it
this,
irked me a
but
bit.
I heard literally on set from a producer. I'm not gonna say what movie it's for, but I heard on set someone showing somebody a laptop and saying we want it to look exactly like this.
they
Yeah.
pulled out shot deck. They're like, "Oh, we need this."
It was
If they pull
insane.
up the
I was like,
room.
I
They
can't
pull up the
believe that this
room.
is
We wanted
just
to look like this.
this is just the state of filmmaking now.
So it's
Quick-
not
quick-
about.
quick
But
editing,
see, that's the thing.
close-ups.
When it-
That's how
when
you
it-
use a budget.
It's not about not ripping off people, but it's about how you do it.
You know what's crazy though?
Like,
is that,
Every movie rips off stuff.
James Cameron's ripping off
Hey,
plenty of people
yeah.
in this movie right now,
fact,
but the
when,
fact
when
is
the
that
first when Speed came out, there was so many studios who like passed on it because they said that it was too much like Die Hard and they didn't want to touch it. And now
Yeah.
studios are like actively going out of their way to be like, oh yeah, we want a movie that's exactly like this. Like, what the fuck?
No, it's that's my problem with any action movie now. They're like, okay, it's John Wick, but what if he's a realtor? It's John Wick, but if he's just an everyday man? It's like, it's cool fighting
Every
sequences,
person is like
but
comparing
like
it to John Wick too. It's like a
it's like
problem.
you watch it and you're like, I feel like I'm just every studio note like the Love Hurts perfect example. Like love Ke Huy Quan, but like this is just John Wick, but if he was a realtor. Like I don't
But see, that's the thing.
There's
Did
nothing
it
like
warrant its existence? It doesn't warrant
no.
its existence.
That's
It doesn't, but
going
that's
back
the
to this.
problem
It's
is that
like
like it's literally like
post
it's not even
yeah.
just the studios making
Look
these
at the
things,
lighting
it's
here.
people who are also watching these things being like, oh well, it's just John Wick, or it compares something to
Yeah.
John Wick. It's exhausting.
This
Like,
is fully
that's what these
lit, but
studios
you can see
want.
the lighting sources.
Yeah, and post this, a lot of studios were like, we need to find our Terminator. What's our Terminator? And eventually, it came into Predator. They found Predator,
Yeah,
and that was their
but
Terminator.
Predator has a different juice too, you know.
Yeah, but it's like it's that same like machine from the
idea.
future,
But that's
like
the thing. But why does it work?
alien from the
It
future.
works. Predator only worked because of John McTiernan, Shane Black, doing a little work on the side in that movie. The
It's
movie
like
comes
the
off as like this
archetypes are
macho.
there. The archetypes
Yeah.
are there and they work, but that's not what makes it work. It's just the idea
Yeah.
that like it's back to what Pat was saying. It's that every studio sees one movie that does really well and they say we need our version of this, and even if we are slightly ripping it off, it is a new thing and it is original. But now it's like they're not even
Yeah.
trying to do anything new with it.
Yeah.
They're just saying we need our exact version
We need
of
our
this.
IPs. Yeah, we need our IPs
It's like
now.
if you're gonna make an AI story, you have to look at what the AI has done already, right? Tanina, I know she loved the movie. She just rewatched it. Companion, I've recently watched that, and that
Lil
felt like
Baja.
Lil Baja.
Lil Baja
Shout out.
Lil Baja. Shout
But
out Lil Baja.
it's like there's an actual like novel take to the AI robot, sort of story, and it works really well in that movie, and the tension's fantastic. So it's like you need those sorts of movies, but it's rare that you get that sort of like script, that sort of idea, because it's
You
the
know, it's
idea that
interesting
matters.
that
The
we're
idea of
saying
this
all
movie
this.
permeates.
And Severance is big right now. I can almost guarantee that within the next year we will have a different version of an idea that's similar
Severance.
to Severance, where like you have
It's the same, yeah.
separate consciousness in some way, shape, or form.
And see,
And
that's the thing.
gonna
It's
be basically
like
what that is.
one of my most hated characters of all time in cinema is this doctor right here. If I could go into any universe, you have Dolores Umbridge, you have this doctor, you have like I wouldn't even punch Darth Vader in the face. That man will kill me, but I could punch this man in the face. Because what he proceeds to do in the second movie.
Look at this noir shot. Oh boy. Beautiful.
But that's the thing. Lighting does not, we talk about this all the time. Lighting does not need to be natural. It just needs to be good. It needs to serve your story. And it's not just lighting, it's your camera placements, it's your set, it's your costumes, it's everything. The studio just came out, right? And they're doing some crazy work on that. But it's like every single, intention behind where they're shooting it, the way they're shooting it, the costumes everybody has. It's a contemporary story, but it feels a bit 80s. Like everything has intention if you want it to be good.
Here's your
The reaction
practical.
that people are having to the studio is kind of funny to me,
Yeah, I know.
depending on who it is that's
Ooh,
watching.
the
It's
X-Acto
not-
knife.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever used X-Acto knives?
They're
I don't know if y'all
yeah.
ever done artwork with those.
I've unfortunately had my fair share of experiences with them. But yes.
I used to, or I don't know. I always had fantastic art teachers. I'll tell you that. Ever since I was 6, every single one of them always pushed us to do something different.
Nice little practical effects
Little
there.
sound design is really what sells us. Because if you
Yeah.
take the sound out, it doesn't really look that convincing, but it looks good.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they tried every single thing possible to make it work, and like you said, it's not perfect. But T2, they put the budget on it. Sheesh. I love the detail of everybody smoking because little did they know this is contemporary story being told, but in our time, it becomes period. So it becomes, it becomes a time capsule and it becomes effective. Look at the lighting on the back. Oh, Lord. I wonder
It's
what
interesting to
Roger
think about
Deakins
like
thinks of this
the
movie.
use of cigarettes too, because like now everyone just has like vapes, and it's. I don't think it would have been as effective if they just vaped in this movie. To be honest, like
Vapes.
even if they put it
See,
in the
that's
movie,
you know what's funny? Vapes aren't cinematic.
no, they aren't. It's the same thing that like cell
Cigarettes
phones.
are.
Cigarettes are
Cigarettes look
cinematic.
good. They look good on. Let's see what Roger Ebert gave Terminator.
You see, do you see beer cans or do you see beer bottles in cinema? You see beer bottles because that's inherently more cinematic, right?
I mean, I think it depends on what kind of story you're telling, but yeah, I mean, you see some cans in some movies, but for the most part, you see more bottles.
True. I mean, throw it
Oh,
back to Animal
interesting.
House. You have cans in there.
Think about whenever you see people eating like takeout food. What do you see usually, Vikash?
The Chinese boxes.
Why do you see that though? Do you know why?
I don't know why I like them.
I
I
learned the
was eating it
reason.
today.
I learned the reason in the last year or so, and it's actually like it makes sense, but
Licensing.
it's also really stupid.
Well,
Um, Licensing is not really the big thing, but funny enough, it actually has to do with continuity.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the easiest way to have it. I mean,
It's
you
the
can just have
easiest
them
way to
picking
like
at
be
it.
able to like have someone picking at food. And a lot of times what you see in
mhm.
movies when someone's like eating out of a Chinese food box is that they're like eating slowly and then they just stop eating altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have y'all ever watched
you can't see
NCIS?
what's
They did
inside.
it a
Yeah,
lot.
you can't
I was
see what's
rewatching
inside.
F9 recently, like Fast 9, and there's a part in the movie where
Oh,
Mia is eating like a whole plate of food and she doesn't even take a bite of her food one time. She's
They just
like
push it
putting
around.
she just pushes it around and then it gets to a point where she almost eats it, then she puts it down and it's like a full bowl and they leave the table.
you know who did my favorite eye work? It's Spielberg with Minority Report. The eye work in that is
Dude,
Oh,
fantastic.
the fucking prosthetic for this is
I
really
yeah,
good,
know,
but
but this is what I mean.
it's
Despite
also it's
all of
for the
this,
for the year that came
1984.
out though, it looks solid.
Yeah,
I can't even give it that
yeah.
fault.
but see, that's the thing. People would watch this and instantly judge. Oh, this looks bad. It hasn't aged well.
Oh
It's
yeah.
I don't
charming,
want to
it's
hear it.
So you
endearing. It's
get
like
I, and I wouldn't
when I
even go to
hear
charming or endearing. Does it work for the story? Do we understand what's going on? And then they literally cut right back to real Arnold, right?
I hear stories of like when they screen like movies like this in theaters and like younger generations watch it, they'll just like laugh at that. It's like it's kind of sad to like it's dude, it's 1984. What do you think they're gonna have fucking computer generated images like that? Like
But see,
yeah.
it's
even
different
with
time, man.
CGI,
Like
I
yeah,
give
it's a
CGI
different time.
lacks. I give every single aspect of filmmaking a lacks to some extent. Like, I
Mhm.
understand to some extent, but there's a limit to that
I'm sure like
also.
in 1984, like I'm sure when they watched that, they were like, "Holy shit, that's fucking cool!" Like,
Exactly. Exactly. Look at the blocking here. Look, like how where everybody's placed is fantastic.
yeah, wish people knew how to block. Especially today.
The second movie also has such a like so much blue in it. I think it's so cool.
I love it. I love this blue.
I think
This
how much I
if I
think
have
of
to
how
pick
much
my favorite
technology
color,
they're
it's this
using right
color.
now too. They're using
Dude,
like
one
so much
time
technology
I
for
was
this
like at a
entire
bar in
movie.
Oklahoma City when I was still living there, and someone behind the bar put on Terminator 2, and I sat there and watched the whole fucking thing with someone.
Yeah, there was
Like we talked about it the whole time.
the um, the Seb's bar at the
Yeah.
end of La La Land is the
Yeah.
was the Blind Donkey in Long Beach, and whenever you would go there, they just play movies there the whole time. So whenever I would go, like Jaws is on, I'm just sitting like watching Jaws, like it's just on in the background, and you look around the bar, other people are watching it too. They're just like staring up, like drinking their
It's
beers,
like the
like
power of
But
a
see,
good
they had
movie can
Terminator
really just
2
have
on,
people
yeah,
like
it's like
pointing at it and be like, "Oh, this is
it's
that
just
one
on in the
scene."
bar, like, and then the movie
I don't
ends and they put
understand the
on
culture
Terminator
of
2,
going
and they
out
just put it on.
because like I would rather be watching the movie and just having a good time. That's I don't
It's
know.
like, I mean,
That's more enjoyable.
I've seen Jaws 800 times. I don't need to hear the
But
dialogue.
no,
You know?
no. But that's the
I was
thing.
talking about it last night,
It's
but
it's such a great experience to just be in a random place watching a random movie with random
Yeah, it's like
people.
or you just go to the bar
Tombstone was
like,
on at the
oh,
bar last
Terminator's
night,
on.
and I watched like
Yeah,
30
like oh
minutes of it
shit.
and I left.
Yeah, you just sit there and watch it. You're like, oh,
I
like no
remember one
dialogue.
time I sent y'all the memory when it came up on Snapchat of like watching Inception. I'm like, yo, I don't even want a beer. I just want to watch Inception.
My favorite thing
Yeah,
at
like
work is just putting a movie on the TVs and then seeing customers walk by and just like stop and stare at it for like
stop and
30
watch it.
minutes.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
They
Dad,
zone
they're
in.
standing there like the dad just watching it, like for standing
It's always
up.
the dads. They always do that in
Yeah,
stands too.
yeah. As they
Sometimes they had
slowly
like a
make their
tool
way
in their hand,
towards
like
the
they were on their
screen.
way to do something.
Yeah, slowly make their way towards the screen.
It's the same way I see like DJing music. It's like the curation of like film is also just as important to me. Curation of any art, honestly.
They would never like even this entire lighting in this police station would never look like this today. They'd be like, it has to be dark because they're cops.
I think I've told you all this story, but this was I think 2022. I had gotten my whatever ACL surgery, and I'd gone to the whatever to the PT for the first time, and there's like 30 people in there, and what's on TV on FX is Tony Scott's Enemy of the State. And I kid you not, every single person in there is watching like they're watching Enemy of the State. And I was just like, this is the power that great movies have. It's just people zone in. Because it's like not everybody, like it didn't matter what age they were, everybody was watching Enemy of the State. It was awesome.
Have you been watching Severance at all, Vikash?
I've seen season 1, I haven't seen season 2.
I was talking about our conversation on lighting is made me think about Severance a little bit, but season 2 is pretty solid. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
I've heard a lot about I've heard a lot. Put it that way. I've seen a lot. I've heard a lot. Gagna. I don't know how to say her name, but she directed an episode. I know, like she's a cinematographer. She ended up directing an episode. I know about all that. I've literally seen them using the robot arm and all. I've seen a lot of shots from this new season. So I'm just gonna forget about all of it for another 6 months and then watch it.
I'll say this. It wasn't Severance I worked on, but I was working on something this past week, and obviously I told you guys about it, but I got to see some pretty cool robot action with some of the cameras, and that was like really cool to see. It's actually insane how precise they can be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean those things they're pretty crazy. I'll tell you that. And they cost a lot, I know that. But
They're heavy as shit too.
Has Arnold
depending on what
spoken
you're
yet?
doing.
No, he spoke right before he said, "I'll be back." The most famous line. Is that like basically that's all he's spoken so far? So he said
He
Sarah
has like
Connor.
less than 100 lines in this movie.
Yeah,
not
Look
not
at
even
it.
100. I think
he's like 25 lines. I think.
yeah, it's
Is it the second one that he has like less than? I
he
think
has
it's
more
less than
lines in the
200.
second
What I
one.
love about like when he shoots the cops, like they like it's not like explode, but they fly back so
They
far.
fly
It's
back,
like
yeah.
it's like this
Action movies can never
technology.
do that now, dude.
Yeah, like
You guys ever seen Hard Boiled?
Yes, of course.
well, yeah.
So like Hard Boiled and
Is that
like
gonna
I
be-
think of like
it's on-
Hard
it's
Boiled
in
and Mission
Criterion
Impossible
Collection,
too.
no? The
No,
DVD's
I
in
don't
Criterion
think. Oh, the
Collection.
DVD might be.
I'm surprised they haven't released a 4K of that.
I'm pretty sure they're working on it now, from what I heard. But like that's a
President's
movie
Men,
that
Criterion
also has
Collection.
some of the has really hard time
Clute's in
with
there and
distribution
Parallax View.
rights.
Finish the trilogy.
But
Clute and Parallax View are in it.
like it makes me think of that,
Oh,
like
dude, that
them
fucking
flying
lighting.
back
Oh.
from guns and shit like that. And there's that scene in Hard Boiled where they're like flying between windows and stuff. And then I think
Mhm.
about Mission Impossible 2 with the same director, and for some reason
It's
the action
John
just
Woo.
doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It's like if
I mean,
it's in the
Face
movies
Off
that
works.
he writes. Face Off doesn't work for me as well either. I think it's the way that he
I love
makes his-
Face Off. I love Hard Boiled. I love Face Off.
Even Silent Night, it didn't work for me.
I
I
haven't
think
seen
it's
that.
I don't even count. I don't
His
even count
American
that.
Throne. Yeah.
I don't even count that because it's like the way that John was talking about how it is for him just as a workplace setting compared to Hong Kong is just like it's just such a disadvantage for him.
I get that. I think for me though that like I showed Avery the Mission Impossible movies before the seventh one came out because I was like, you're gonna watch these so we can go enjoy the last one together. And I had her start at 3 because I was like, the first one's not bad, but then if we watch the first one, we have to skip the second one because she's not gonna like it. She liked all the rest of them past 3, so I was like, okay, so this year you're gonna watch 1 and 2, so you can experience what I experienced since you know all these now.
Yeah.
And I was telling Vikash about
She's
this,
gonna
or
she's gonna
Pat,
need
the same way I
one
was telling you.
for 8.
Yeah. One you're gonna
I'm gonna
yeah,
show
because
her
a lot of
1
the
too this year.
what's his face is in one. I went to De Palma. Show De Palma.
I think she'd like 1, but the reason I didn't show her the first one is just because it's so drastically different from the rest of them after
Yeah.
3. It's such a
I
different
still
type
see-
of tone.
I
Out
feel
of
like
10
three
people,
is
I
like
know
the
people
one
still put 1
starts the
up in their top
storyline.
3.
3 is the one where things start to change. Like, yeah, back to your
Yeah.
point. It's very much the one that like it's the closest to what is going forward this type of movie that they're trying to make.
Yeah, they found their footing with 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4, you know.
3 is clunky and it's messy, but it is very much like you're saying. Like they found their footing.
Do
with it.
you think they'll make another Terminator movie, or do you think they're done?
No, they'll make.
They're done.
No, they'll definitely make another one. Maybe not with Arnold, but they'll make another one some point.
Maybe
Give
Jim
it
makes
5
his
years.
own.
No,
Yeah.
he's too busy making Avatar.
That's what I'm saying. Give it like
Avatar
10 years.
3? I still don't have the. I
10
still don't
years,
have
he's
the.
not even gonna be done with Avatar in 10 years. He's gonna be dead.
Didn't he say he might not be directing after 3? He might like pass it off.
I think he's gonna be directing as long as he can, but he said that he's gonna try and he's gonna have to teach somebody how to do them because he's getting
It is
old.
crazy.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, he's getting old.
Because they started to
And-
film the first 10 minutes of 4, right? No.
I think they've already been filming 4 while they're simultaneously like finishing 3, and then I think 5 and 6.
I still need to get those.
There's a 6? I didn't know there was a 6.
We're gonna do like 5, I think 5 or 6.
Oh,
Yeah,
the second one making the third highest grossing movie of all time. Yeah, they all the other ones have been greenlit. All greenlit.
Because I know I know they have they shot 2 and 3 pretty much together. I know those were mostly
That's
done.
why
And
he
then
said, like,
he was
they did-
moving into 4 and 5.
The third would he had the third. He said would wrap up a trilogy. If the second one didn't do very well, at least they had the third just to end the story. But yeah, so second one
I'm
second
gonna
one
say
being
right
the.
here on the pod now.
I mean, I'll let him talk. He's Avatar man. So I'll let you talk.
I don't want to say it like this, but Jake Sully's gonna die, and I'm gonna fucking cry my eyes out.
Bro,
You mean Sam Worthington from
yeah,
Terminator Salvation is going to die?
but it's gonna work. It's gonna work.
No, here's the thing: is yeah, it's gonna work, and that's what pisses me off because I remember when I went to go see fucking Way of Water. The movie was starting and I was crying, not because I was like sad, but I was like, I can't believe that this is real. Like this, we've been waiting so long for this. And then Loak died, and I was like, I can't fucking do this ever. Like I'm so mad.
Also, the teaser trailer for Terminator Salvation though fucking rips.
They
Yeah.
spoil everything.
They fucking rips though.
Funny enough, we were talking about like people who freaked out on set. We never mentioned Christian Bale in that movie. In that,
Yeah, I was-
that like got like
I told y'all about this.
abolished.
The,
Yeah,
the dude he was yelling at, he had it coming.
he walked right into the shop multiple times.
Yeah.
No, but like I followed the guy for many years online, and then I realized who he was. I was like, oh, this makes sense. I was
You're
like,
an
I would be
asshole.
mad if I was
You're
Bale.
an asshole. Tell him you're an asshole. You're an asshole. What movie, guys? What movie?
Look up the word idiot in the dictionary. You know what's there?
A picture of me?
No, the definition of the word idiot.
Fucking
R.I.P. Val.
Rest in peace, Phil.
Kiss, kiss, bang,
I want to hit
bang.
Oh man,
Shady Black.
it's crazy, man.
Here's where they fall in love.
You know what's
Under the
crazy about Val
fridge.
Kilmer dying is I was half asleep because I was going to bed early that day, and I
just
saw a
refreshed.
message on
Usually-
my phone.
It's interesting that they drop that in. Usually they'll wait till the morning to like release that news.
It was like midnight.
Yeah, usually they
It was
wait
like
till the next
midnight,
day to
and
release
so
that
I was
news.
I was laying down half asleep. I see a message on my phone that says Val Kilmer died with like a frowny face, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I like went back to bed.
I literally was going to sleep. I would literally put my phone down to go
Yeah,
to sleep.
It was
and
like
then
midnight
my
for you
phone
guys.
lit up.
Yeah, it was
like midnight for
late.
you guys.
And so get this. So I get that message, I fall back asleep, and I was like, I was in such a rush to get to set the next day that I didn't
Yeah.
even open Twitter. I didn't look at anything. And then the next day,
Mhm.
as I was on set, people on the crew were talking. They were like, "Did y'all see Val Kilmer died?" And I was like, "Yo, I thought I had a dream. I thought that was a nightmare." And that's how I found out. Middle of the day, I was like, "Oh shit, that was real."
I still don't have the Avatar 4Ks. I need to get them.
I have 4 of them if you want them.
Do you have the collectors? You have 4 of them?
Yeah, I have the fucking collector's editions.
I might just get the.
I have
does
the-
does the regular Avatar 4K come with the extended cut? I guess on like 3 more minutes, whatever.
The 4K.
But I like the
collector's
opening and the
edition-
extended cut.
The collector's edition has the extended cut pad,
Extended, but not the regular.
not
Doesn't
the
have it.
regular,
I mean,
because I
I'll probably
bought
s-
it and then they released it on the collector's
yeah,
edition.
I'll just keep my Blu-ray for that then. I'll get the 4K regular, but I'll keep the Blu-ray.
I want the
No,
4K
get the
for
fucking
Avatar
collector's
just
edition for both of them.
because it's whatever
Like
they
$1, bro.
redid everything for the movie, right? For
They're like
Avatar.
They're like $50 a piece.
Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, what's credit anyway, man? Credit's not real. It's free
You gotta
money.
It's
do
just
it, bro.
it's just a
You're
number.
doing it on the camera and pod. You have to buy it.
That's true. I might have to.
It's a clean set, Pat. I'm just telling you, like, I love that set.
I guess
Now I'm looking it up.
If
maybe
you're looking
just
the
the
first
one,
and
though.
second one, do you want me to pull it off the shelf and show you right now?
But maybe just the first one though, because the second one is just it's the same cut. It's the bigger set though.
But there's
I
more
don't
special
know.
There's more special features.
Yeah, I might get them. I have
There's
them on.
more
I have them.
This
I
is
have
trauma
all
bonding
of them.
romance right here.
Actually, do you want me to tell you something crazy, Pat, that will sell you on this because it is so fucking cool? The special features on both versions of those collector's editions have a feature on them where you are able to watch like 12 scenes from each movie in 3 different stages. One of them is the motion capture, like just raw footage. You can watch the motion capture with the like pre-visualization, and then a third version that has all 3 of them on the screen at the same time. And it is one of the coolest special features that I have ever seen on any Blu-ray set, and you have to get it.
All right.
I'm telling
I like
you, like
that.
I
I
sat
like that
down
they
and
did that
watched.
for Kingdom.
Yes, but
Kingdom
it's
of
a
the
little
Planet of
bit.
the Apes.
It does it for the whole movie for Kingdom, and it's only on the Blu-ray disc. But this one, it's
Yeah.
like it's like you have 12
You see the graduation of
very
it.
specific
You
scenes.
can see it. Yeah.
It's a really good set, Pat. I'm just saying, man.
I'll probably get them. I don't have either. I'll probably end up getting them. I just don't want them to be 50. Maybe if they drop.
I
Well,
just upgraded all my Mission Impossible 4Ks, so
I just have the
Mission
set.
Impossible coming on the pod.
Yeah.
I was telling Pat before you hopped on Vikash, I couldn't find the second one on 4K. I think it's unfortunately like you're not able to find it anywhere now. You can find the standard Blu-ray or like the 4K that has the slipcover, but since I got the steelbooks, now I gotta get the second one for the steelbook too.
That's true. I have all the
They all got a
4Ks
match.
except 2. I wouldn't have bought it either way. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm
The
not even
second
gonna
one
lie.
I just couldn't find
I
anywhere.
couldn't justify spending $45 on Mission Impossible 2 Steelbook.
Well,
I'm
they're
just not gonna
15
watch
bucks
it.
on at Barnes and Noble
Yeah.
right now. There's a Paramount sale.
Well, it ended in March 31.
Nah, I went and got those literally yesterday.
So compare this to Salvation. Just like the vibe is just totally different visually.
You mean Mick G, the director of We Are Marshall?
You're telling me that Mick G didn't do a bang-up job with Salvation?
I don't even want to start on.
Mick G.
I don't
Who do you
even
think
want to
he is? Who
go
thinks he's
down that
fucking
rabbit
it?
hole.
Dude thinks he's fucking Adele. Mick G. One word.
Chris Stuckman had him on his pod. I was just like, why?
Damn, look at that.
I don't need to hear this man
watching,
talking about filming.
Look at that. Watching fire in a broken television
Literally watching heat.
technology.
That's literally
Watching
what it
heat.
looks like watching Michael
Yeah.
Mann's Heat.
Yeah. Straight fucking fire.
I might have to crank Heat again. Which I mean, like,
Yeah.
Heat is the one movie where I'm like, no matter how much you hype it up, you cannot. Like, the movie is amazing every single time. Like, you might think it'll fade. Nope, that movie stays amazing.
The war. What?
Look at those doggies.
She takes that photo at the end. What?
The one thing I do love about Terminator Salvation is the casting. I think that movie is really well cast. I liked everybody, even Sam Worthington. I know he was kind of hot then, but it's like not like hot. I'm talking about like just in the
good
industry
agent.
was hot.
Got a good
You
agent.
know what's interesting though is that the way that we talked about Schwarzenegger earlier in the movie, like I like the Avatar movies, but I don't love Sam Worthington as an actor.
Yeah, but
And
that's the
it's
thing.
because it's one of
he
those
knows
things
how
like
to.
he's really good at playing that one role, and that's
Yeah.
sort
Wasn't
of
that
like
supposed to be Matt Damon? No.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And
He passed.
he passed on, and he was gonna get 10% of the box office, and he did
Yep.
get
He'd
it.
be fucking so rich right now. Holy shit.
$100 million, $200 million, just gone.
Oh, he'd have like 200 million from the first movie alone.
That's fucking crazy, man. 10% of the box office from that movie, $2 billion.
There you go. I love that. I love that.
So
shot.
the extended collector's cut, that's the new one, right?
For Avatar.
Yeah.
There's 2
Yeah.
sets. Yeah.
There's two
Okay.
sets. They look identical. They're just
Yeah.
different covers.
One's for
but
Avatar. One's
they-
for the.
No, I just want to make sure that it's like the new one where they like went back and did all the CG again or whatever they did with the
Yeah,
rendering.
it looks better.
Okay.
Even when I
I'll probably
watched it
get
in
those.
theaters, I knew it was better.
They were showing. I was literally there when they were showing like Avatar again in IMAX, and I just did not have time.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna re-release them both this year.
They should.
Everything up, I think they will. I'd go see them again.
Bro, that movie's like a cash cow. Like they could
I
re-release
wish
it every year if they
they
wanted to, and it would make stupid amount of money.
were getting Revenge of the Sith this month. Definitely gonna go see that. I
I remember
already
whenever
have
I was
plans.
at work that day, and I was talking to someone about how I was going to see Avatar in theaters, and they were like, "Isn't the movie like 10 years old?" And I was like,
And
"Yeah." And they were like, "You're gonna be like the only person there," and I was there, and it was fucking sold out.
Mm-hmm.
power of great cinema.
That guy is fucking hairy as
You know who he
shit.
looks like, right? He looks like homeboy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I
Looks
forgot
like
his
Jason
name.
Alexander.
True,
Fuck you, Matt.
the mix of the two.
Yeah. Fuck
Just
you,
just stick some
asshole.
glasses on him.
He looks like Bob Hoskins and Jason Alexander mixed together.
Yeah, Bob Hoskins. I didn't even know Bob Hoskins was he was British till I watched a movie with him recently. I think it's
I
in the
mean,
Criterion.
didn't even see you in Hook.
I know
Wish
he was in Hulk,
me.
but I thought he was American.
Where's the Hook?
We talked about this with Tom Wilkinson. Like I thought the man was American.
You ever
I
seen
remember
Patriot?
talking, you guys talking about that on the Michael Clayton pod as I was driving around to Panavision.
Good
My
old Panavision.
Patriot.
This is Jim Cameron's dog right here. Fun fact.
Damn, I always get so sad being like, my
My
dog is
dog
no
is
longer
dead.
alive.
Oh,
He was in one of the best movies ever made, though.
what did y'all think of the what did y'all
That's
think of
me.
Crypto with
That's me
Superman?
watching.
Did y'all watch the extended thing for Superman?
I
Dude,
did.
I don't
I don't
care.
know if I.
I'll say it.
I don't
I'll
know.
fucking say it. I do
I don't know
not
if I
care.
like the way. I don't know if I like the way that movie looks
That
visually.
movie looks like there is something wrong with it.
It looks like I'm
I'm
looking at a
excited.
commercial. Looks like I'm looking at a commercial.
I understand what y'all mean.
I
But
talked
I
to
was
someone
just
about that
going
trailer
back
at
to that.
work who was really excited to see it, and they were like, "Why don't you like it?" And I was like, "The color grading is ugly. It looks like a commercial." And they were like, "What do you mean the color grading is ugly?" I was like, "Everything's blue." And then they were like, "Well, you like Avatar, don't you?" And I was like, "Shut the fuck up! Like, it's not the same kind of blue."
I'll be the odd man out. I loved it. I really loved it. I
It's
can't wait
just
to
like
see that movie.
Vikash. I totally understand why everyone is with this, and I totally understand. And here's the thing: is I genuinely think I am going to like the movie for the most part. Like it's James Gunn. I fuck with him.
Bro's walking around LA. Can't even walk
I
around
think
LA.
he inherently knows how to write a good story, but there's just something about the visual style of that movie that like I see and I'm like this just it turns me off.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think it's because I think his movies are good visually. I think all of his movies are good visually, but they're not great. No, I think
I
actually never
disagree,
mind.
man. I
Let's
disagree.
scratch
Like
that. Let's
Guardians of the
scratch that.
Galaxy,
One and then Suicide Squad like 2021.
I don't love Suicide Squad
Fantastic.
2021, but I do think it looks good. And here's the thing too with that. Also a movie that I'd say like I don't rock with, but I still really liked it, like what it was doing.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Like I didn't love it, but I do appreciate a lot of what the writing was doing.
I loved that it was just it's pure James Gunn. And even visually, like even the gags of like, full on like I think it's like they have the writing of like the flashback like 26 minutes ago and it's like in burning like palm trees or something and I'm like who thought of doing this? Like no one usually puts budget behind this, but he did.
Did you guys ever do that with paper bags when you came home from the grocery store? Just rip them?
Nah, because that wasn't
No.
for me.
I do only use paper bags
Because that
though.
was fucking normal.
Yeah. I was like, well, bro, why
I
are you
only
ripping this shit? What if we
I
need
think
this
it's funny
bag
that
later?
a good amount of this podcast is just us kind of like digging on each other. Like I was like talking
I
shit on Vikash with the
literally
social network.
Oh, don't we, so when I literally I use paper bags. Literally, I went to the store today. I folded them and I put them in the drawer. I was like, I'm gonna need them someday.
Bro, come to California. You don't have any bags. They'll charge you 10 cents a bag.
I mean, they
Yeah.
don't do that here, but like, I live with the same mentality
Bring your own
essentially.
bag. Bring your own
I
bags.
I usually have a box in my car, so that's for that usually.
Bro, they're making bombs. Yo, it's like Saving Private Ryan. Sticky bomb.
Yeah, if these was brown
Columbine.
people, this would be a different movie. The cops would already be there.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
funny
probably gonna
enough,
be Arabic music playing.
I was
People being real
we were
racist.
talking about like violence in movies the other day, and Avery and we were watching Scream 3, and we were talking about like the violence in that movie, and I was just like, actually, because of Columbine, they asked them to tone down the violence in Scream 3.
Really?
I brought that up. I brought that up on the pod. Yeah, they had to like really cut it down, or show it off screen. A lot of the kills are off screen in that.
Yeah.
We
And then there's also like a lot of speculation with the third movie, specifically the third one, where like they think that there was two killers and that the girl that plays Sydney in the movie is also one of the killers, because there's like parts of the movie where there's like two killers in the same spot at once, and it's just like
yeah.
geographically it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Scream 3 is the worst in the franchise. Scream 3.
You all know the thing about natural born killers, right?
Yeah.
And that's something, where I learned about that. We talked about it in class. It was like a literature class, and we were talking. This is very much an art conversation of like, where's the limit? Where's like who's to blame?
That kind of movie though, Natural Born Killers specifically, and even like Terminator 2 to an extent, those are the kind of movies that like violence is essential to the plot of the story, but also with like Natural Born Killers. In Michael Haneke's films like Funny Games, even the remake, because he made both of them. But like it's the kind of movie that almost invites you to like watch the movie in a way that's like super hyper focused, ultra violent, and it's like the movie's like not it's not on the side of the people doing it, but it's also like condemning you for watching, and it's just like you like this shit, don't you? You like
for
watching
someone
this,
to...
and you're a sick fuck to like it. But also, we're gonna keep showing you, and you're gonna keep enjoying it. You're gonna have fun with it.
Someone like there was a couple that watched Natural Born Killers and then they went out and started killing people. So it's like, who's to blame for that? It's like if I watched John Wick and I went and started buying guns, who's responsible for that? And
but again, it's back to that point. Like the films aren't like actively like making you do it. It's not condemning you for doing it.
Even this movie, the violence is the part of the movie, and basically what you're saying is like, humans already created this violence not knowing it. When you're creating technology, perfect example, 2001 A Space Odyssey, when the ape smashes the bone, when man creates weapon, what does that transition to? Weapon changes to space. Once you create weapon, you can do whatever.
It's instrument in it, but it's like all these instruments, it's dependent upon who's holding
it's like
it, right?
It's like there's so much violence in this movie, but it's part of the story, as in like, this is the destruction of technology is destroying you in a way. Technology of a gun shooting, like that's technology. Like you're killing yourself.
Talk about nuclear energy. You could say, nuclear energy is kind of greener. It's better for us. But then that can also cause a whole other issue, right?
People will be like, this is glorifying violence. And it's like the Natural Born Killers. It's like that's essentially Bonnie and Clyde. It's like the same thing. It's like you're not watching this movie correctly. Exactly. There's a reason why they're telling this story. It's like, Bonnie and Clyde. It's like, what happened to Bonnie and Clyde at the end of the movie? They died.
And then
and they're not
bring it all the way back to 2013.
Yeah.
Look at Wolf of Wall Street. There's multiple people who say, "Oh, Wolf of Wall Street is my favorite movie," but are y'all understanding Martin Scorsese's entire career of like parables?
No, like,
his entire
18 years old. Exactly for the first time,
dude. I remember
when I watched Boogie Nights, I was like, if I was 17, this would be my favorite movie of all time. It would be Boogie Nights. But like you watch it now, and you're like, there's a lot more to this movie than just making a porno. But like if I was 17, I'd be like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Like,
I watched this, I think when I was like 9 or 10 as well, like just like you said, but also my parents only watched the version that was like cut for cable, so this scene wasn't there. And then I watched it by myself. I
always had to like.
I saw this in high school.
Close my eyes as they would fast forward the VHS and I would peek through. All right, close your eyes. Like True Lies. I remember I had to close my eyes for True Lies. And then like I was like,
you know what I do now? I just let my dad watch it by himself, and then we'll have conversations about these movies. And I'm just like, we know exactly what's going on, but we're not going to talk about
Speaking of Wolf of Wall Street, I saw that on Christmas Day, and then my mom was sitting right next to me, and then 30 seconds of the movie, I'm like, this isn't going to be good.
Oh Lord, I don't know how you did that. I saw it with Zach, and
We're
even then
just
I was
gonna
like,
say,
"Yo, I'm like, bro, I don't know about this."
we're not gonna make eye contact. We're just gonna look forward and not say anything.
And then you see Margot Robbie like, "This, who is
I
this
remember when I
woman?"
was rewatching this like last week. I was like, damn, how does fucking Arnold even see anything? Like, what's in? He can't even see what's in front of him. Like, it's so dark. Dude, this is like I wouldn't be surprised if the Coens watched this little scene here for No Country, if them breaking into the hotel. No Country for Old Man.
Look at that dog. Look at that dog. Look at James Cameron's puppy. Spartan Burger sounds gas right now.
Spartan Burgers. Probably around fucking USC they were filming this. I always forget how much like this movie is so many chase scenes.
They probably shot all of them in the same night too.
Timestamp.
We are at 124:42.
Okay.
They got their bombs.
I love this tunnel. There's so many movies that use it.
Back to the Future uses it. I forget where.
Yeah.
I forget where in LA is it. I think it's when you head towards Pasadena. I think.
But y'all get what I mean by like, or what movie? Blade Runner uses too, right?
Blade Runner uses it. That's the big one.
Yeah,
That's why.
that's the one I always remember.
I called it
Back
out.
to the
Yeah.
Future is when Marty's. It's Back to the Future 2 when he's
with
on
the poop.
hoverboard.
Yeah.
He's on the hoverboard, and then
The
like they're
manure.
trying to go after Biff when he has the almanac. Yeah.
I might be wrong, but Transformers 2007.
Yes, the Camaro.
The
Yeah.
Camaro scene. That's what I thought.
I think it's a tunnel like when you're going towards Pasadena. It's around Dodger Stadium, I believe.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've definitely been to LA before.
I could be completely wrong, but I think it's around.
You know what's
that
crazy
area.
too is that like we have this like weird geographical like information about stuff like this. Like I was watching F9. Actually, no, I think it was Fast 10, and I was rewatching all of them. And I
Bro, why are you watching Fast 10?
Dude, I got all of them on 4K, and I just had to finish the films.
Go rewatch like 5 again.
I did. I watched all of them.
No, I'm saying like instead of watching 10, watch 5 again.
Oh,
Just
regardless, like I got through the ones I got on 4K because I already had 8, 9, and 10 on 4K. But I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna revisit 9 and 10. It's been a while. I did not watch Hobbs and Shaw. I was like, that's the one movie I just refused to watch. But I watched 9. I watched 10. I got to 10, and there was a scene. No, I got to 10, and there's a scene towards the end of it where I was able to exactly like remember where a scene took place without even like knowing what scene it was in the movie. Like I was like, oh, this is in Nevada. Like I've been there. And then they were at the Hoover Dam, and I was like, I was spot on to that because of that tunnel.
Oh, here's your earlier when you ran over the car at the semi, and now he just got run over by the semi.
But Martin, what you're talking about is actually a good thing, where it's like they went and shot it there. And that's the difference of.
I like to think they did. Who fucking knows, to be honest.
I mean, they even if they didn't go there with the actors, they at least went there with a second unit, right? They took the effort to.
The shots.
You're talking about with Cena and the kid.
You know, it's been a week and I've already forgotten the movie, so I don't know, to be honest with you.
Also, this area of LA has also been used in a few movies, right?
A lot of movies.
Because it's like, I mean, the one that always comes to mind is the end of the third act of Live Free or Die Hard. And then Dark Knight. I love the design of it, you know, just like that hole in the middle. I'm like, why is this there? It makes no sense to me, but it's like, it's so movie.
It's so movie. That's such a good line. It's so movie.
That's my line. You already know that's my line. It's so movie.
Trademark it.
And you see the makeup there when you see his fucking Terminator skeleton.
Looks good there.
Yeah.
It's so
But
movie.
even then, I love it.
It's so movie, bro. I know exactly where the spot is in GTA.
GTA 6 is gonna come out before we see a lot of.
That was the same spot that Vinny Chase made his fake movie in Entourage. Hide.
What's a fake movie you guys would love to see?
a fake movie I'd love to
Like a
see.
fake movie that's like we know it's never gonna happen, but like this is the idea, and it's like you
The
can just add lore
The
behind
movie
it.
they shot for Home Alone.
speaking of the studio, Ron Howard's little like movie he made in the studio for episode 3 when they had to give the note to cut the last 45 minutes.
You know what's
you
crazy?
watch clips of it?
Bro,
It's
you
like
acting like we
Thinking
have
about
context for
Ron,
this.
Ron Howard. So Ron Howard did the Grinch movie, and that's like the live action Dr. Seuss. Two
Yeah.
years pass, and they make that Cat in the Hat movie. Do you guys know that that movie is the reason that there's no more live action Dr. Seuss movies?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I know
it's a
that
cult-
movie
Because
is.
Dr.
classic
Seuss's
now.
widow
That's a cult
You want
classic.
watched that
though?
movie, and she was like, just like,
What the
and she
fuck
was
is
like, "What
this?
the
You know-
fuck is this?"
I think that's the reason that movie's the reason why Chivo didn't work on Harry Potter 3.
She
It's
what?
Cat in the Hat.
Emmanuel Lubezki, he didn't shoot Harry Potter 3 because he was working on Cat in the Hat.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. Cinematographers have the craziest like work.
Which is
Dude.
like, Michael Sorensen came in, did a fantastic job. He came back through for Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes. So I mean,
Yeah.
he's a goat just for those 3. But it's like Alfonso
and
Cuarón
Killers,
even talks about it, how like Chivo couldn't shoot it, and then they're like, oh, who are the old cinematographers that we loved? And then they had to go and find him to do it, and he actually did it. And I think Matt Reeves did the same thing for Dawn for the Planet of the Apes. He's like, oh, I love that movie Fame from like my childhood. Like, who shot that? Let me go find him.
Cinematographers though, like it's interesting because like you mentioned Emmanuel Lubezki, and he is a great cinematographer, but like the only names that people know, even like film students, are like Greg Fraser and fucking Roger Deakins. And like
Yeah.
you go and look at other filmmakers that work with like the same cinematographer over and over again, it's just like, dude, like they're cooking and no one gives them credit.
Mm-hmm.
Throw in, you know me, I've got all the names in my head. Throw in, Rodrigo Prieto, Robert Richardson, just for Scorsese, right? He's got 2.
I mean, Spielberg only uses Janusz.
Autumn Gerald, Janusz Kaminski. Autumn Gerald Arkapaw. She has whatever Sinners coming out. She's fantastic.
Mhm.
Who am I thinking about? I'm thinking about her husband, Adam Arkapaw. He shot True Detective. He shot the 2015 Macbeth. He does great work.
That Macbeth movie with Michael Fassbender
That's the one I'm talking about.
Justin Kurzel.
Yeah.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, though the tragedy Macbeth, the Coen brothers version, is also like just fantastic. But I think they're two very different kinds of movies. But that Macbeth movie with Fassbender is
Terminator.
incredible.
I love that. Like they thought they fucking won right there, and then you just see the full Terminator skeleton just pop up. Like,
dude, it's fucking crazy that it looks as good as it does for 1980. Was it
1984? Yeah.
The stop motion.
Again, it's groundbreaking. Like again,
It's the
if
vision.
you're
It's the vision.
if you're a 15-year-old
James
watching
Cameron
this
has always
now,
been a
I'm sure you
vision.
probably would
He's been a
laugh
visionary
and be like,
director.
"This is terrible," but no, like the time, it's groundbreaking. It's like seeing the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park for the first time. Like,
My
holy
dad's
shit.
not a big sci-fi guy, and he really likes these movies for some reason. The first 2.
I mean, they're definitive science fiction films. Is the Terminator? Everyone knows who the fucking Terminator is.
Even a lot of the like, and we can get into it more with the actual film with the second picture, but all the stuff with like the T-1000 and the CG and the VFX that they had to create to like basically like make him the way that he was and move the way he was, and also like this blue screen effect that they have here.
Yeah.
Like this was
Like it doesn't.
make. This was
It doesn't look great now, but it's like at the time you're probably sitting there in awe in theaters, like, holy shit. This is
dude.
incredible.
I don't. It looks great. Like I don't get me wrong, like it's a bit dated, but there's something about it that you're like, man, like someone took the time to make
me.
this.
I fucking watch movies from like the 1939 and shit doesn't fucking hold up anymore. But it's like I don't give a fuck. It's you look at the product of the time.
I think it's the element of like knowing that it was the year that it was and
incredible.
someone made it, that we're able to be like, wow, like this really
That's incredible. Yeah.
someone had
that's
to
what
like
I'm
do
saying.
this by hand.
You have to have that in your head. And I think the main thing that, like, if you have to give kids education about art, you have to show them older movies.
Yeah.
Because if you don't show them that, you just show them modern stuff. If you just show kids Marvel movies,
I think it's a lot of
it's
film
not going to
critters
work.
too. is they only watch like modern shit. And then when
Actually, listen to this.
and they watch this and they'll laugh. And it's like, okay.
Christopher McQuarrie came after all of us. He's like, all these people on film Twitter, I don't think they understand that if you just say it's a cinematographer, it's not just the cinematographer. It's everybody else that's working in this movie that's contributing to this vision. And like, y'all need to understand this. And I'm like, we understand this, but not everybody does, right?
Yeah, dude.
We were talking about Route to Jungle the last time, right?
It takes to get like even a minute or two
simple
of footage
camera
for
setup.
something.
Yeah.
It takes hours to set up.
Mm-hmm. You're standing. That's why I always tell people, like, you ever see actors like on behind the scenes videos of them just sitting in their chairs, like fucking around. It's like they're waiting for a camera setup that's taking 45 minutes. They're sitting there like, let's make a TikTok right now. We're bored. Like, let's make a TikTok while we wait for this.
The only actor I can give heat to is like Bradley Cooper, because the man went and did it himself, right? Ben Affleck, he went and did it himself. Even Anna Kendrick went and did it herself.
Actors who go directors, even if their
Ben Stiller
project isn't great. Ben Stiller's been doing directing since like the 90s.
Forever.
That's what's crazy to me. He's like been doing.
Did he direct the Cable Guy? He directed the Cable Guy.
He directed the Cable Guy. He did Reality Bites.
Yeah.
Zoolander, obviously.
Ben's got the juice.
Rose had the juice. Actually, I don't know if it was Reality Bites.
My favorite part of Ben Stiller's juice is I was in high school when Secret Life of Walter Mitty came out.
Tropic Thunder is his best movie. Walter Mitty's also pretty gas, but Tropic Thunder's so fucking hilarious.
No, it is. But like Walter Mitty was the change up. Whereas like hold up,
hey,
this man can do serious film
about violence in cinema. It's like Tropic Thunder isn't necessarily doing the same thing in that sense, but it is also chastising you as a viewer for laughing at what it's
you're laughing at what's happening on the screen.
It's also like you're laughing for a fucking reason. It's because it is so inherently funny that you cannot avoid it.
I always think the argument of like, oh, violence in media. It's like, okay, what about all the violence pre 1900? Where the fuck were they watching then? Like, there were still wars happening, mass murders like happening.
The reason that there's violence in media is because someone saw that shit.
It's like you have so much, like, it's because your ability to achieve news now compared to 50, 60 years ago is at your fingertips. That's why you don't hear about all of this stuff happening in the world. Someone gets into a fight down the street that could be on Twitter or Instagram in 20 minutes, and then it goes viral. Look, I saw a fight down the street. World star. Like, that fucking shit.
I saw someone got their shit rocked at Chipotle like a week ago. It was crazy.
Yeah, so you just see this guy's got fucking knocked the fuck out. Like, he's just laying there. Like, but in the 1940s, where the fuck were you seeing someone get knocked out? Unless you're at the bar drunk. Like, you're not seeing that.
When the Boston Marathon bombing happened, I think that was like the epicenter for me of like, well, even like this is happening, this is unfolding right now. I'm looking on Reddit right now. People trying to figure this out right now.
Could you imagine 9/11 happening today with social media?
Oh how much every fucking video on your timeline would just be different angles.
Yeah, like it's just.
Have y'all seen the video? Like the video there is horrifying. Have y'all seen the video of the woman who, like, she gets pulled into a shop and then, like, she's like, oh, you saved my life? And you just see the smoke coming down the street.
There's a Nat Geo did a whole documentary series called 9/11 One Day in America, and they use unseen footage of the camera crews that are very first. You could see the first plane hitting. That camera crew jumped in the fire department van and was with them the entire time. And it's riveting footage, and you're just like, dude. This is the type of stuff you need to make with documentaries because this is incredible.
It's horrifying, but it's legitimately the kind of thing that, like, unfortunately, like you just don't see anywhere.
You don't see it's like, but I feel like you also need to see. It's like even though with this, people are like, oh, this movie's violent. It's like there's a reason why it's so violent. Like Kyle Reese just died right now, but there's a reason why he died. It wasn't just because that Terminator killed him, but like he had a mission to freaking protect essentially himself. Like, in order to do that,
yeah, like the line.
Look, even right here, it's like what's about to kill the Terminator? A machine. A machine kills a machine.
And the thing
eventually wins in the end.
Is it the machine that kills him, or is it
a human?
Is it she who kills him? She's the one who kills
with
him.
The machine.
But see, that's the thing. The whole, like, the reason why we had this conversation, I don't know, 12 years ago in my class, was that it's to sparse the idea that it is not the artist's, fault if something happens, right? You have to be, as a viewer, you need to know what you're doing.
Think of how many
you're already going to do what you're going to do.
How many people play Grand Theft Auto?
Exactly.
Think of how many people, like, it's just... You can't blame one person for doing something on an entire like art form. That doesn't you can't do that. And I think that's what people
And it's
want to do to justify
in this
their beliefs.
and this whatever it elevates into a different conversation about
Yeah.
this. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like we're not gonna talk about it, but you know what I mean.
A little off
But
topic,
this movie is a critique about this movie is literally critiquing technology. Like that's the whole
And
point.
technology and weapons are technology.
Yeah,
everything that humans have made is technology.
Technology, yeah.
A little off topic,
Fire.
but I've been thinking about this for like the last like 2 weeks. But who would you guys pick to make a Grand Theft Auto movie?
Edgar Wright.
Really? I have like one person in mind, and it's like the most obnoxious person you can imagine.
I know
I want to
Harmony
hear your
Korine.
guys' first.
I'm joking.
I have to think on it.
If honestly, if I really,
I'll tell you this, Vikash, you are
So
actually
a narrative
right. I think
story
Harmony
within the
Korine would
characters
be the
that-
perfect person for a Grand Theft Auto movie.
Yeah.
It's weird to say, but
Michael
like after
Bay's
watching
Grand
wait,
Theft
did
Speed
you
Auto.
Raiders
wait? Was that
again-
actually a person, or was I just
Yes, Harmony Korine
Oh, okay.
is like.
I did 360 no scope on you?
I am fascinated by
Bro.
Harmony Korine's work, and I think that he'd be the perfect person to make a Grand Theft Auto movie.
Yeah. Michael
Him
Bay's Grand
or
Theft Auto.
like-
There's multiple movies to be made in that IP. This is like a sad conversation to be having
I
right now.
think it's
But
just it's like
as a
it's weird
Terminator's
to-
getting crushed.
Yeah, fuck this guy. Fuck a Terminator. Fuck the T-800.
Yeah, fuck you, Arnold.
Fuck you, Arnold.
we'll talk about my favorite character out of all these movies. It is Dyson in the next movie, and this arm really comes
I feel
back
like-
heavy.
I know. I feel like you could. A studio note would have been like, you should have the arm one last time, like try to grab her. But it's like,
Yeah.
no, you don't need that.
100%. That's what's funny about Scream to me is it's like it's riffing on a lot of stuff like that, and it's like still doing it. It works really well.
Like, one last time, grab it.
Something that's interesting is that sequels are supposed to be the same thing, but a little
Okay.
different. And Terminator 2 very much is the same thing, but just a little different.
Same thing with Avatar.
And it's an instance too where the sequel is better than the original.
Rare
very
instance,
rare.
right?
I mean, I
Godfrey,
think
Dark
the
Knight,
Alien movies,
Godfather.
the first two Alien movies are kind of a good example of this. Is like the first movie's a horror movie, the second movie's an action movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. Aliens with a money sign.
It's such a. I feel like I've heard that
Yeah.
story 1,000
Aliens.
fucking times, and it's not true.
Yeah. I like how she just has the fattest revolver.
Yeah. How much have you ever lost on a coin toss? She goes up to the guy at the counter.
Like he's like walking out as she's walking in.
She
It's
knows she's
Sinner.
sitting there with
Sinner.
the translation book.
Yeah. Yo,
What's the line from Narcos? It's like,
Tecate.
do they say it's like metal or something? It's like silver or something. Plato or I forgot the line.
Plata.
This is probably like on your way to Vegas, this area. This is where you really notice the restoration on like her. This whole like this shot right here.
I mean, it works for me. Honest.
It,
I'm
it
being
didn't, it
genuine.
didn't bother
It's
me,
not
but I can
noticeable.
see why people are like, but it's like, I mean, again, people are just complaining to complain now. At least you even have these restorations of these movies. You could be watching this shit on DVD. And that's it.
Okay, put it this way: is it pulling me out of the movie? That's the number one. It's not. So
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not complaining about it. True Lies, on the other hand, a little bit, a little bit. This one, I feel lucky to even have it. That's what it feels like.
Mhm.
Because it's
And
like
she
you talk
drives
about
off.
all the President's Men. We don't have all the President's Men, you know.
Telling you, I think it's going to be next year when I realize it's 50-year anniversary. And you're going to get the 4K next year.
I wonder who did the map painting here at the end.
She drives off into the storm. A storm is coming. And that storm is the perfect
Better
storm.
I was gonna batten down the hatches with The Dark Knight Rises, but okay.
It would be
Or
a perfect storm.
this is back when did trailers used to play back after the movies back at
Yeah,
this
that's what they call
era?
trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I don't know if this might have been like the same era, but I don't know if when they started changing it.
Imagine seeing this movie in the theater. Just like you don't know who made
It's
this movie.
groundbreaking. You
No,
probably at the
but
end.
I'm talking about
Imagine
like
if you were in high school, like a junior, senior, and you saw this like that summer.
my favorite movie.
You'd be like, this is my favorite movie of all time. Like,
Yeah.
it just fucking hits. Again, bring back matte paintings.
Bring him back. That
They-
map painting is fucking gorgeous.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know who did it. It looks so good.
Was it Harlan Ellison? No.
No. He's a writer. He's an author.
The Terminator.
I'll be back. We'll be back.
This podcast is hosted and edited by Pat Brennan. That's me, with intro and closing music by Patrick Baxter.